Crossover.
Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
It is time for a Friday crossover. You can feel the vibes in studio for Houston Christian. It is brought to you by Everlow Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlowconcrete.com.
Makes me want to visit a CVS.
Yes.
Sorry.
Do you think they find it as strange as we
Should
do?
have prepped.
No,
No.
they think it's normal.
But they're also trying to make it go away.
Yes.
They're trying to build like a building.
But that'd be so sad.
Husky Town.
Like, could they build like that part of the stadium around the CVS?
They should. That should be the base of their new practice facility. You have to go through the CVS in the back. It's like, what's that movie with Adam Sandler with the remote click?
Yeah.
Bed Bath & Beyond and Beyond.
Yes.
Right? So you go CVS and then you go through the back door and all of a sudden there's a beautiful new practice facility.
Like that.
Interesting. It's a good idea. By the way, I got an email yesterday since we talked about the MOVO, as you call
Yes.
it. I got an email. Josh, you got this too, I think.
I did, yes.
So this is from Brian.
Hi,
Says,
Brian.
"Hi, guys. Hope this email finds you well. Heard part of today's show. Yes, the Enterprise Center has gone through a few name changes since it opened, and the arena, the Checker Dome, was torn down. They made a lot of great updates to the building. You should check out a Blues game. I think you will have a great time. On that note, you are both invited to come down to enjoy or cover a St. Louis Battlehawks game this upcoming season." This is from the director of communications from the St. Louis Battlehawks.
So
do we know Brian? I'd never heard
yes.
from Brian before.
So Brian, I was talking last year about the Battlehawks, and he's got some connection to Omaha, or he's a Nebraska fan, and he heard, and so he sent an email. He said, "Hey, you guys ever want, like, Anthony Beck, Rocco's dad, is the head coach, and the Battlehawks have been extremely successful." So yeah, he listens to 1620.
Amazing.
It's legit.
We might have to soften our stance on St. Louis being a garbage town. If we got.
Hey, Severe, what are you talking about? Severe does not like St. Louis at all.
I don't either.
Why would you?
I ain't backing off. St. Louis sucks.
Okay.
It's dirty. It's smelly.
But you didn't get the email from Brian.
No, I didn't.
I'll forward it to you, and then maybe you'll soften your stance.
Okay.
No, I will never.
You know those big rocking chairs at the airport?
You know where I grew up in?
I think that's Charlotte.
No. It's
They
in
have it in
St. Louis.
Lambert?
The big, the big.
I've
red-
never flown into the St. Louis airport.
the big red rocking chairs. Oh, I stayed. I spent way too much time there, like a year and a half ago, coming back from somewhere.
I've only landed on a Southwest flight through there and never got off the plane.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I had to get off the plane, and then it took a lot of time.
Okay, so
I think it was coming back from Pittsburgh.
when I was younger, spent a lot of time in St. Louis because that was my dad's territory. So I would go with him when he was working to cover games. Nowadays, if you get a little bit away from Ballpark Village, it does get
Well, we went.
kind of interesting.
So I've been to
Yes,
a
it
Cardinals.
does,
I've been to a Cardinals game in Old Bush and Bush 2 and Bush 3. And then a separate trip to the Missouri Valley tournament. And when baseball is not going on, it's the whole downtown is kind of built around the baseball park, which is pretty cool. But it's I enjoyed the baseball games, but there wasn't much else going on from what it seemed like.
The soccer stadium is really nice.
Went to Joe Buck's bar. Joe Buck has a bar. Joe Buck has a bar and grill.
I wonder if Mike Shannon's place is still open. I remember as a kid going to there.
Yeah,
But you get Ted's Custard if you like emos and the cracker style pizza is St. Louis pizza.
We went to St. Louis for 2 hockey tournaments. We ended up eating at the hotel for all the entire time because there just wasn't anything like great and local around where we were at.
Counterpoint, we get this from John on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, John.
Chicago is every bit the garbage town that St. Louis is. Your thoughts?
Whoa.
It's not true. It's not true at all.
I heard it referenced today on national TV as something different.
Yeah, apparently I grew up in Afghanistan, according to our current president. So that was
some takes.
Now I'm worried that is the Cubs game going to get canceled. They got Rizzo tomorrow. He's throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah, you
Still with this guy?
Makes you wonder.
Good God.
What?
Josh is super over the Anthony Rizzo stuff.
One mid-ass guy retires as a Cub, and you're like, we got to stop everything for 2 weeks.
You don't understand the importance of that guy and how great he
Yeah,
was,
Jess, you
for
just
how
don't get it.
bad that team was, and how like he literally like made that team watchable, and then eventually was the captain.
And then was joined by good players, and they won.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, he himself is he's a
I'm
great
glad we
player.
didn't know each other in
40
16.
41 WAR, 3 All-Stars, 4 Gold Gloves. He's a pretty damn good baseball player.
How long did it take him to get to that 41?
It took him, I think, 9 years.
That's quite.
I mean, he averaged about over 4 WAR in his career as a Cub. He's a career 123 OPS plus hitter. And that
So
even
he's not
counts his year
Chipper
in
or
as a-
Dale or Bob or Terry Forster.
I mean, that guy was probably the most valuable first baseman in all of baseball for a good 2 seasons.
A good 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's more than most. Yeah, that's more than most first basemen.
Never led the league in anything.
So he didn't have to. He was good at
Grit,
everything. That's
determination.
No, that's BS. That's
T-shirts,
literally-
spunk.
no, you
T-shirts
guys
that had
are
his
just-
name on
yeah,
it.
you guys are just
Dogs that were named after him.
bunch of trolls.
Yeah.
he came
There's
in-
a ton of dogs named after Anthony Rizzo.
He came in second place though to Wrigley. Shout out to John.
My
Matt and I both had
cubby.
16, so we're fine. We're good.
Yeah, I get it. He's the Royals Eric Hosmer. Like, we love Eric Hosmer. He was around for a little
You know
while. He
what?
was a solid player, but like,
That's
he's not that good.
That's a good comp because
Yeah.
Hosmer didn't finish his career in Kansas City.
Yep.
Now, Rizzo only went one other place.
Yeah.
That's a good comp.
I think you.
But Hosmer would be considered an ambassador for the Royals now, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would say he's higher than Hosmer, but lower than Salvi. For sure, lower than Salvi.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
I don't
Well, and
think
Salvi
it's
only
close.
played for one team.
Yeah, that's why.
And
That's why I
Salvi's
said
going
what
to
I
be a
said.
Hall of Famer. He'll go to Cooperstown.
Damn right.
See, that's the only thing.
Except for the
that's
Royals
left
aren't going to
this
make the
season.
playoffs this year. They're done.
Anthony Rizzo will welcome you to the Hall of Very Good.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I
why
don't,
is
I
that
don't
a
have him
bad?
in the
That's
Hall
not
of Fame.
bad.
Yeah,
I don't have him in the Hall of Fame. So Vinny hits his 30th last night. Nice job after a slow start. The only thing that is left for you guys this year is to see if Salvi gets to 300.
Yeah. What does he need? 2 more or something
Yeah.
like that?
Hello.
I think 2.
2 more
Home
Two
runs.
Oh, okay. Is he not going to play next season?
No, he'll be.
No, but then
He'll stay as
Yeah.
long as he can.
but that's the
He'll
last
get
year of his
300.
big contract. No, it's at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So they did it to themselves last night, losing. So they're not going to make the play.
No.
Yep, they're done.
Salvi looked good at first base though. I feel like it's impressive when catchers go to first base and like the hand quickness.
He
transfer.
is one of those guys who's just a giant mountain of a man, but he's like really, really sneakily athletic. He's not fast.
He's a lunch pail guy.
He's not fast at all. I mean,
No.
he might be the slowest player in baseball, but he can short area quickness,
no.
I'd like to
that's the
see I'd like
thing.
to see his explosive
He's
rate,
got fast twitch muscles.
I'd like to see him getting off the line.
Why are you hopping up in your chair like that?
Quick twitch.
Quick pitch. Like if you're going to rush the passer.
That
swim move?
That was the slowest swim move I've ever
Well,
seen
because
in
I had
my
to move the
entire
microphone. I
life.
didn't want to punch the microphone
Yeah.
and break my hand.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
A lot
You
of
would
people
break your
don't
hand?
touch the microphone.
I don't touch the microphone anymore because Josh always yells at me. I don't. Here's
Here's
how
hockey.
I'm sitting right now.
Here's hockey, Dad.
Hockey dad.
St. Louis's airport is awesome. Much better than this crap hole airport Midway that I'm already 30 minutes late in leaving.
Whoa.
Midway
It's hockey-
sucks
it's-
ass.
yeah, it's hockey dad's fault for flying out of Midway, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I like
I
Midway.
didn't tell you. I didn't recommend that to you.
So many
you-
Southwest flights.
How about you fly out of
Yeah, but now
O'Hare?
O'Hare goes through Southwest.
barely? If you're
Not-
going
yeah,
to Chicago
not
on
nearly-
Southwest,
not
you're going
nearly
to
as
Midway.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very novel thing if you're like flying out of Southwest still at O'Hare. I mean, but I fly United. I'm a United Explorer member, so
Nice.
You know,
Oh boy, got his first credit card.
I did. I get miles. I get Tim miles, if you know what I mean.
No,
Go to San Jose for a vacation, maybe.
That may be.
not a lot of people say that.
Is
You're
it
gonna
San
go to
Jose?
Silicon Valley.
Is San Jose the St. Louis of California? Is it crappy and overrated?
I know nothing
I'm working on
about
it.
the cities in
Uh,
California.
It's a town in Northern California that's got a hockey team.
There
And-
you go, St. Louis.
Oh, it's San Jose's okay. There's nothing really special about it.
I know nothing about San Jose.
It's warmer weather than St. Louis, so I automatically think it's
No, it's
better than
not.
it. Is San Jose not warm? It's in California.
San Jose's in Northern
NorCal,
California.
baby.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
in
St.
cool.
Louis in the summer is miserable with the heat and humidity.
I think St. Louis is just miserable.
I thought that until I got that email from Brian. Thank you, Brian.
Oh, I think Brian's cool. I think the Battlehawks are dope. I'd love to go to a Battlehawks game.
I think the Battlehawks are
from,
dope.
Didn't DeMornay Pearsonell play for the Battlehawks?
Oh, maybe. There was a couple former
Maybe-
Huskers from that time.
Maybe I think Josh Banderas still plays in that league.
I
Maybe
think
he has
Alonzo
played with him.
Moore was hanging out in that league for a little
That's right.
while.
Does Happer prefer Gary Dolphin or Joe Bucksbar?
Great question.
I
prefer
a little bit.
I
different.
prefer Joe Buck to Gary Dolphin.
Okay.
Sure.
I don't think that was the question.
I don't even.
They both have nice bars. They both have
Probably
nice
look different though, right? Like mahogany compared to wood.
Wait,
I don't. Joe Buck's bar is just like a regular old sports bar from my memory. Gary Dolphin, he had some. He had a nice little courtyard out back.
oh wow.
it's
Gary-
So
Gary's
what is the amount of memorabilia though in each one?
I don't think there's.
significant, big presence of memorabilia.
Oh really? Gary Dolphin's bar looks like one of those bars that are cash only.
It's not. You can pay with a card there. It's nice and cheap though,
It
because
looks
you're in
like it.
Dubuque, Iowa.
It's got a brick feeling to it. There's a lot of brick here.
Yeah.
Not my type of bar. I don't
That's
like.
very much a Eastern Iowa, right there on the Mississippi bar.
See, I don't like a brick bar. I like a wood bar.
John emails in.
Hi, John.
The only airport worse than O'Hare is Liberty International in Newark.
I don't.
Newark, O'Hare.
LaGuardia.
Yeah, but
is
you
it
know what?
LaGuardia bad?
Oh,
did-
LaGuardia
no.
rocks now.
Okay.
Oh, LaGuardia got better.
LaGuardia is
they
like
put
way
a ton
better.
of money into
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
But
LaGuardia
okay,
looks like a spaceship
so-
now.
So I know that Newark has gone through it this summer, but if you're going into the city, I'd rather fly into Newark.
Probably.
If you're going to Manhattan,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Go. I did that one in March. LaGuardia into the city. It is a challenge.
See,
It's a challenge.
you guys have heard of
It's a
the
significant time constraint.
you've heard of the conspiracies about the Denver airport, right?
Yeah, the Lucifer and
Yeah.
the Illuminati and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in the Denver airport and I was walking around and I was like, this place is so unnaturally big that I kind of believe it. I kind of
And they
like,
play into it now because they put like signs up and they're like, "What's behind this door? You may never know." They're doing like
Oh.
the construction areas,
nonstop.
and they're like, you'll never see what's behind here.
Why is that? Is that just the hub for connecting flights? Like every connecting flight ever goes through there. That's why it has to be so big, and I have to take a damn train from terminal to terminal.
Yeah, I mean it's the biggest airport. It's the space-wise biggest airport in America, I think, and then like it's certainly the most used airport west of the Mississippi.
It's insane how big that place.
Have you? Because I know Happer, you spent some time in Denver. Have you ever gone over to now what they've turned the old Stapleton Airport into, like a neighborhood?
The actual like Denver airport?
the original Denver airport before
No.
they moved out to DIA.
No.
It's really pretty wild. Like they've turned it into a city, basically.
Nice.
I went to the Denver airport and I wanted to get my shoe shined, but they.
You used the shoe shiner?
I wanted to, but two guys were already getting their boots shined.
Those
so I
things are
couldn't.
never getting operated. I'm
Were
surprised.
you wearing sneakers? Or
No, I had because I was going to a
were you
wedding.
carrying your shoes?
I was carrying my shoes in my bag.
So were you going to put them on your feet and
Yes.
then sit down?
Yes, 1,000,000%. I had shoes that I needed. They needed to be polished, and so I wanted to use the shoe shiner. And then two guys were on there, and so that was disappointing. And then I went to John Elway's bar, and the American power forward basketball player James Johnson was just sitting there.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't have a Rich Hill moment with him or anything.
Ah. Sad.
But
Why?
well, because all the seats were taken, and I just walked around to see what seats were available.
What was he eating?
I didn't really go into
Why
depth.
Salad?
weren't you? Why weren't you flying to Denver to go to a wedding in Denver?
Yeah.
Why were you just staying in the airport?
Because I was going to grab a beer at John Elway's bar and then get my shoe shined and then take an Uber to the hotel.
You got to get out of there.
I love a hotel. No, I don't. I love airports. I have no.
I love airports too, but when you land, don't you want to just leave the airport?
in that area. No, not really. Like in
The
that.
whole part of is when you land, you leave.
Look. If I'm
It's a
landing,
Seinfeld episode. Sounds like.
if I'm landing and I have people picking me up, okay, then yeah, obviously I'm going to try and get out there as quickly as possible. But if I'm land in an airport and I have an Uber, I'm going to explore the space.
What about your bags? What will your bags do?
I
Yeah.
didn't check any bags. I don't
Oh.
check bags.
Okay. I don't check bags.
I don't check bags. But with my United Explorer cards, I get one free check bag when I want it. So I got
Matt
that.
McMaster here for the United card.
I know. Hey, by the way, just for the kids out there who are applying for their first credit card, you'd think maybe you have to sign up for the first tier of the United, credit card and upgrade. The Explore card's actually the second tier. I upgraded right away, so I jumped the line.
Did you spend enough money yet in the first billing period to get all the bonus miles?
I need to spend $2 more grand in the next 67 days in order to.
You got that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna be fine. Yeah, I'm gonna be plenty okay. So, but no, I saw James Johnson, and I was walking. I was like, woman, man. James Johnson, woman, man. Just kind of went around.
We playing Duck Duck Goose?
No, but I was just like,
man.
I was just like average person. Oh, a power forward who's been in the NBA for about 14 years. He was actually in the NBA Finals this season. So, yeah, good for James.
I'm really surprised you did not interrupt him.
Me too.
Why would I interrupt him? He was eating and drinking, and I was just like, whatever, and I just walked by him.
Hey, are you James Johnson?
Why? I'm not a fangirl, all right? I mean, I just happened to have been in the same booth as Rich Hill and was talking.
But you're probably one of the only people around him who knew who he was.
Oh, for sure.
He might have appreciated it.
I'm not gonna. What am I
You
gonna
would
say?
have created a scene,
Hey,
and then people would have been asking, hey, who's that guy? And
Wait.
he's signing stuff, and people are picking up his bill.
hey, thanks for being a draft bus for the Bulls. Appreciate it.
Probably not would be my opening line.
Yeah, I'd go with something
yeah.
else.
We wasted our first round pick in 09 on him. So
How was the finals last year? Maybe start with
yeah,
that.
I was sitting on the bench for the last 3 years, Ben.
Dang. So you're a James
I'm
Johnson
sure his
hater.
paycheck-
I'm not a
okay.
James Johnson hater.
Sounds like you hate him.
Like all the things that you would approach him with, it would have been antagonistic.
No, I would. What am I going to approach him with? Oh, I know who you are. That's just a weird thing. I just
Why
walked
don't you
right
say,
by.
hey, you
That's
know-
what I did
you,
when I saw Jamie Moyer.
Does anybody ever tell you that you look like James Johnson?
No.
I was just sitting downtown one day in Lincoln, and I saw Jamie Moyer walking down the street, and I immediately got out of my chair, and we chased him into what is that place called? Like Bread and something, or it used to be there in the
Panera?
No, it was
Bread
like
and-
Bread and Cup or something
Yeah,
like that.
Bread and Cup.
Bread and Cup. We chased him in there,
It's a terrible name.
and we started bothering him, and we were like, me and Jake Sorensen, and we were like, hey, are you Jamie Moyer? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, well, I thought that was you.
Pull up a stool.
Why are you here?
Good Lord. This guy played 25 years in the MLB.
Jamie
That's right.
Moyer?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Why was he in Lincoln?
He was doing something. The Salt Dogs had him in for
A
like
tryout.
he was no. He was doing like a
Old Timers Day.
speech or something. It was, come talk. And yeah, Jamie Moyer
Jake-
was just in Lincoln walking around.
I think he was either 48, 49, his last inning pitched in the majors.
he
Yeah.
was
He was throwing
49 in 2012.
and that's when he pitched last.
Because we did a promotion in Fort Myers. If you can throw faster than Jamie Moyer,
Good one.
So I probably saw him
because he
in,
threw like 75 miles an hour.
That's crazy. He gave up the most home runs of all time in the MLB.
Well, he also played in
Yeah.
Colorado for a bit.
Yeah. For no, 1 year.
1 year,
1 year in Colorado. He played in Seattle,
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Oh, he played for everybody.
Yeah.
Baltimore. Actually, for a guy who was a journeyman, I would expect for him to have more teams for 25 years. He only had 5, 6, 7, 8 teams.
You don't get rid of a Jamie Moyer.
Is he a locker room guy? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah,
He's a glue guy,
absolutely.
ultimate glue guy, Jamie Moore.
Great guy to have around.
Very soft-spoken, soft-throwing left-hander.
He almost had 300 career wins.
He won't be in the Hall of Fame, Matt.
No, I don't think
No.
so.
Him and Anthony Rizzo.
But he was walking
Well,
down the street of
whoever
Lincoln.
said that Anthony Rizzo would be in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
There you go.
And if Anthony Rizzo doesn't win that World Series in 2016, then he probably becomes a journeyman. You know,
That's not true at all. He just becomes, truthfully, just oh, he was cool.
that's pretty much what he already is.
No, not with us.
As the Siskel and Ebert of the show, do you think the movie Red Dawn will be better than the uniforms tomorrow?
Which Red Dawn? The original Red Dawn or the one,
Of
the new
course,
Red
the
Dawn?
original.
Red Dawn Redemption.
What? You don't like the new Red Dawn? The new Red Dawn was fun. I like that movie.
The remake is never worth a damn.
Well, the original was like in the 80s. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never watched that one. I just watched
Shocking.
wasn't it
What's Red Dawn?
wasn't Channing Tatum or someone in the new Red
No,
Dawn?
it was a Hemsworth, I think.
Oh, it was Liam, I think.
One of
So
the
Red Dawn.
No, it was
is
Chris.
What Nebraska's going to do tomorrow, Connor? They're going to wear all red.
I heard about that part, but what's the movie?
I don't know. The
Uh,
Russians are
yeah, it was like-
invading.
Oh,
Like
I
back, so the original in the 80s, like when Russia and the U.S. were button heads.
you know, Rocky IV.
Oh, look at that, Swayze.
But the new Red Dawn, I think it's the Korean.
That makes sense.
I think it's North Korea invades America.
That makes
and
sense,
it's
yeah.
like they all have to go to this cabin in the woods and survive.
Got to fight them off.
And then Chris Hemsworth has this hot girlfriend, and she gets captured,
Sure.
and so he's got to fight for her back or whatever. And then they have prison camps in the rural town that they were in. Josh Peck is in it. Good movie.
Can we? Because of this, so the movie I went to the other night, one of the previews is for The Long Walk.
Stephen
The
King.
idea behind that movie sounds off the wall. Like
Yeah.
it looks like a gruesome movie.
Yeah. I saw an infographic yesterday about, hey, if this was real, this is what your body would go through
Yeah.
over the course of 5-10 days, however long. Because it's just, hey, these psychopaths round up a bunch of people and make them walk
In a dystopian America
until they die.
ruled by totalitarian regime, a walking contest known as the Long Walk is held annually. Participants, known as walkers, must maintain a speed of at least 3 miles an hour or risk execution.
It's like
And
speed, but
yeah,
for walking.
And so there are
It is.
there are military figures that are like in a tank, that are in a truck and are walking, that are behind them. And if you fall down, they kill you.
Wow.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
What's the prize though?
You get to live.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't. This isn't like Running Man
then
where you
there's-
get
and
like $1
there's only-
billion.
then there's only one winner.
Really?
Oh, this movie just seems
Yeah.
off the chains.
It's a Stephen
Is it-
King joint.
It's like it's uncomfortable. The preview that they show in the theaters makes it very uncomfortable.
It comes out today.
Could you do it?
It's only 108 minutes, so people must have died
Oh,
pretty quick.
Let's go.
I might watch that
Short movies are back.
next week.
Mhm.
No, I would not
Hour
do this.
48, pretty solid.
Not would you? Could you?
Oh, they're walking for what, 5 days straight?
I
you
thought it
don't-
was
you
48
don't-
hours. Is it 48 hours?
I
might
haven't
be
seen
longer
anything
than
about that.
But they're
I
you
think it's
don't-
just as long as it goes.
yeah. You just
Oh,
keep
God.
walking until you're the only person left.
Yeah.
But you have to maintain a speed of 3 miles an hour.
I go.
They show, and they all have something on their wrist that shows how fast they're going.
Mm.
Like if it drops to 2.9, you have a minute to speed up. And in the preview, someone doesn't. Or there was a person that dropped down to tie their shoe, and
Oh, yeah. They're done.
they're done.
See ya.
See, I get a cramp on my walks to Morrison Stadium, and that's like only a 23-minute walk.
You walk down to Morrison and check out the Jays.
Yeah, I mean I just live pretty close to campus, so I just walk on campus.
It's a lovely campus.
I go, it's pretty good.
Well, you would blend in with them. You'd blend in with the college students. You
Oh,
look
yeah.
like a college student.
I mean, yeah, I am.
Very youthful.
I am 1 year away. I mean, technically, there are a lot of people. There are actually plenty of people on Creighton's campus that are older than me,
Hmm.
because nobody goes to school for 4 years anymore.
Yeah, those days are almost over, though.
That's too bad. Well, I mean, a lot of people don't go to school for just 4 years at Creighton. They go for a little bit longer to be doctors and lawyers.
Yeah,
Dentist.
I love meeting
Dentist.
them at the bar and hanging out with them.
All right.
Oh, yeah. You guys have any takes on loud cars?
Ooh, yeah.
What?
Loud cars. I hate cars that are loud.
It's a great take by you.
What's the point?
I hate the cars that have the black exhaust coming out of like their,
Oh, so
out
you're
of-
about the environment?
well, it just smells when it
Live.
hits my windshield, and it's like my car's all stinky.
But you don't care how loud it is?
I think the people who purposefully like run their Mustangs and their Hellcats and their Dodgers on roads, especially on Cumming, and try and be as loud as possible and wake me up when I'm trying to go to bed are the worst people.
So is this in
There
your
you go.
neighborhood or just in general?
Oh, I'm just talking about any car that's loud, except for like a dump truck or like a car that would have a functional use to be powerful and loud.
Oh,
Like, what's the point of just having a car that's loud that you drive down the street? to
No,
get to work?
there's 0 point.
Okay.
But
Some people like it.
some people like the loud car.
That's stupid, though. They shouldn't.
You know what? I'm more loud cars now. I just kind of blank out. The ones that all of the Teslas and the Amazon trucks that make a noise. Those are the ones now I hear more often than not.
The ring. Like
yeah, there's like a little
the electric.
Oh,
Yeah, I've always-
really?
Yeah.
I can hear the Amazon truck coming in my neighborhood. Like,
Really?
It does sound different.
yeah,
It
I didn't
does
know
sound
that.
different.
because it's a electric.
No, I think that like if
Boogie,
you're
woogie,
if you're
boogie, woogie.
actively like trying to make your car louder, you're just a menace to society, and I can't stand you.
So you agree with me?
Well, I grew up in a town where that was the thing, and everybody was trying to rev up their engine and show off their cars.
I think that exists everywhere.
Well, there was drag racing in Skokie. That was actually a really big epidemic back in like the 2000s.
You ever been on O Street in Lincoln?
That sucks too.
Oh, they're drag racing
Yeah.
down that thing all the time.
Then they had a major accident.
Yeah.
Well, you ever want to talk to John Cook about drag racing on O Street?
Was he a champion?
Oh, no. He one of his volleyball players last year got into an accident.
Oh,
What's not drag racing?
Right.
I did not
Just-
know.
That was Lindsey Krause.
Oh,
right?
I thought
Yeah.
wasn't that two
2 years
years
ago?
ago?
Okay,
Yeah,
2
2
years
years
ago.
ago.
Mhm.
Yeah. That was from drag racing? Someone hit her
Someone
behind
hit
her.
her.
I got hit actually not too far away from I think where she actually got hit by somebody who also was going way too fast. There's a crack on my back left bumper because somebody just was going way too fast.
Hey, have they removed the signs? Because I know this was a big deal, just like it was in Lincoln, but also in Omaha, is cruising Dodge Street. But like was it 80? It's like 80th. There would be right there.
There
at
was
the
a sign.
intersection,
Yeah, right there.
No cruising
Uh-huh.
between like 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. They take those
Ridiculous.
signs down. Do people cruise up and down Dodge Street anymore?
I don't see why you would, but I can't get into these people's brains.
Were you never part of the cruising community? And then y'all congregated in a
What-
parking lot with your cars?
As a kid, when you were just getting your license, you would just go out and drive around on occasion. Yes.
How do they tell?
What do you mean?
If
How do
you're
they tell you're
cruising,
just driving up and
Well,
down?
isn't cruising like
nonstop?
15 miles an hour slower or 20 miles an hour slower than the speed limit?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, I'm not in a big hurry to go anywhere, so I just drive the speed limit and just like, or sometimes I'm just driving. I don't even know how fast I'm going. I'm just like,
You should know.
like I'm just. Well, no, I'm under, but I'm not driving fast. I'm just kind of, I'm just flowing. I'm just flowing with traffic. Like I'm not even looking at the speed limit or see loud car.
As a motorcycle,
See, that's
Seth
right.
writes in. He says, "I also hate loud motorcycles."
Oh wow, that was
On
perfect.
cue, I believe that was a planted tweet with
Yeah.
the motorcycle.
He was tweeting on his motorcycle as he was going by.
Okay, so I'll
50th
give
and
you.
Dodge.
So in my neighborhood, you guys know the bridge on Center as you come down like from 72nd and you're headed towards Baxter Arena.
Mhm.
Late at night,
Oh, I bet they're
especially
rolling out there.
motorcycles, you will hear revving up the motorcycle because if it's straight green right there by Baxter, from the top of that hill, the speed that you can pick
You
up,
could get rolling.
yeah,
Big tap.
and you hear the motorcycles crank up the little crotch rockets and
I'm telling you, Cumming has a problem. Every time Cumming
street?
Street.
What part of
Cumming
very good.
Street.
What
Jeez.
part of Cumming Street?
Jeez.
What neighborhood? What area?
The one that's by the softball stadium. So what would that be? What, 24th? 20th?
Little further east, but yeah, you're in the right.
Like
yeah.
they're
Campus
just campus area. I'm just like I'm walking to my, apartment and I just
I thought you were meeting people in the neighborhood.
No, we're in
Good
football
spot for
season.
you is that McDonald's right there.
No, we're in football season.
We're in football season.
I'm not meeting anyone.
I'm not
during
meeting
football
anybody.
season.
No, I park the car, I go in, sit down, get a nap, wake up. We're in football season. Wake up again, do the show.
And the
announce
people with
football
loud
game.
cars are trying to prevent you from napping.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Like I'm doing nothing this weekend except for football, and that's I couldn't be happier.
Hey, so on loud cars, are you a finger waver or are you
I don't do anything to them. I just get angry.
I can't stand that people in this town don't understand what a communicative honk is.
Oh, yeah. They got no
a great
clue.
take.
Like everybody here gets super offended and flips me off when I honk at them. But
Yeah.
I'm literally just tapping and I'm telling you, hey, Jack, you know what?
Trying to help you.
Yeah. Hey, how about you turn right? Because the right green arrow has been flashing for the last 4 seconds. You ain't moving.
This
This
is
doesn't-
this
this
is an
doesn't-
excellent take by you.
It doesn't sound like an informative honk, though. It sounds like you're angry.
No, I'm going beep. A little beep. Or
should you have options on your honk?
Yes.
Like
yes.
Yeah.
I would love. How do we not create the technology of where I can have different honks? Bad honk, good honk, go honk.
Get a Tesla. You could do whatever honk you want.
You can.
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, look. Here's my thing. Right.
You can make it like that guy who drives around Lincoln on game day.
All right. So this is a PCA. If you have your left turn signal on,
PSA.
PSA. Did I say PCA?
Yep.
Sorry.
Cubs.
PSA.
It's Pete Crow Armstrong.
I got it. If you got your
Nice
left
catch.
if you got your left turn signal on, all right, okay, and you look in your blind side, like your blind side, and there's nobody there.
Strong.
Okay. But you knew that I was there, but I'm slowing down. Go. Just go into the lane. You have your turn signal on. By slowing down, I'm acknowledging that I see you.
Matt, you're preaching to the choir. I'm with you.
And then I go, bink, like I honk, and I'm like, go. And then I get flipped off. That happened a week ago. Why am I getting flipped off? You should just be more aggressive and get in the left-hand lane.
Because you have out-of-state license plates.
Don't worry. When you have Nebraska license plates, people still get offended.
Also, can you speed up when we're merging on the highway?
Yeah, no, people don't know. They're like, let me
They
stop
don't.
at the
Welcome
end
to
here.
Omaha.
Yeah. No, people don't know how to drive. But it's very sad.
All right, now I'm stressed.
All right, well, let's get you out on the
Hey.
road.
Hey, are you doing the Cornhusker kickoff tomorrow?
No.
Oh.
Oh, did they need to fill in?
I might have been the fill-in.
Who replaced you?
I assume that's a D. Wayne joint,
Yes.
but
Feels like it.
I don't know.
He's got a grip on that market.
I'm doing one more this year.
With Maddie and Tay.
I don't think they're coming back.
They have whoever
Brit-
they have this week. I don't recognize the name.
What?
Wow.
Brittany and Bailey,
Sad.
Tim something.
Tim and John.
Tim Miles?
I have no
It's
idea.
not Tim Miles doing stand up.
Dude, Frank Caliendo debuted his Jerry Jones impression yesterday. It was sick.
Dope. Should we get him on, Josh?
He gave his Mount Rushmore of sandwiches on Rich Eisen earlier this week.
That's
so good.
Such good content.
I
did.
want to have him on.
He did
Yeah.
it as Jerry. His Jerry's so good. I've never heard him do Jerry before.
Send him a text. Maybe he could join us
His
today in place of
Berman-
Sipple, who won't answer the phone.
His Chris Berman is taking a step back. His Berman isn't as good as it used to be. No, it ain't good. That's
Hey,
what
I
he
thought
does.
we were almost going to have an incident yesterday because Sipple, when he was with us, was walking Bullet. And you know the neighborhood he lives in by that elementary school?
Uh-huh.
So I could just tell that he was, you
Yeah.
know, while Bullet was walking, he was trying to pay attention. And he walked by a yard that had a dog.
Yeah.
And the dog was going nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, for Sipple's sake in my head, please let that be a fenced-in yard.
There's
'Cause
always
if not,
something
there's
going
gonna
on.
be trouble because Bullet is going to get eaten.
People like to comment on the fact that whenever he talks with us, his seatbelt
Yeah.
buzzer is going off.
Well, he doesn't. So you know that he doesn't
use his
I go,
yeah, he
I go
doesn't use his
Sipple,
seatbelt.
buckle up.
He doesn't. He doesn't like using his seatbelt.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
What type of 1945
Well, he's an old man.
Because he used to be a motorcycle guy.
Still is.
got a boxer and a motorcycle? God, Steven Sipple lived a completely different
And
life.
he used to know the ponies really well.
Yeah.
Well, I got him all riled up talking about boxing, and then when he saw me at Kansas City, the first thing he came up to me was, "I love talking boxing with you," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's fun, man."
What a guy. What a guy. We'll see if he answered the phone today at 1.
Have a good week.
All right.
And-
that is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com.
I got
It
it, Brett.
is Friday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone.
Heating up on Friday. Expect partly sunny and breezy conditions most of the day with south wind gusting around 25 miles per hour. Hot and muggy in the afternoon with highs in the low 90s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
Do you have a game plan for your financial goals? Bankers Trust offers a full suite of banking products and tools just for you. Experience high-touch, personalized service in personal and commercial banking, lending, and wealth management from Iowa's largest privately owned bank. The team of experts at Bankers Trust are ready to serve as your financial quarterback. So stop by their location at 192nd and Dodge or visit
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Friday. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you on a Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Excited to be here. Another weekend of football in front of us. Nebraska and Houston Christian, 11 a.m. Not called by Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and the All-American girl Jenny Taft.
AAG.
But I actually don't. Where are they this weekend? Where's it's at the lacrosse field.
That is where Big Noon is. Yes.
Is that where Gus and
I would assume so. Sometimes they put them on that 2:30 game just because
they don't. Yeah, let's see. Johnson. Yep, they're doing Oregon Northwestern this weekend, according to our friends from 506sports.com.
Thank you, 506.
Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to set things up for the weekend for you all today. Bryan Munson, Brian Christopherson, Steve Sipple will join. That's the lineup powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'd love to hear from you all. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor or Josh Show at 1620thezone.com, the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today, like Platcat, who says hitting KC for lunch tomorrow. Connor, suggestions? Well, you got a lot of options. If you haven't been to Q39, I always kind of send people in that direction. But I'm not.
Waterburger.
Sure, you get a Waterburger. You get a Waterburger for lunch. It sounds pretty good. You can't get that in Omaha. So you got options. You got barbecue and tons of delicious food options in Kansas City. But for the rest of us who will be staying northward bound on I-29 this weekend, hello. And hello to you who are elsewhere in America as
You're
well.
in St. Louis.
Today, we'll have our history lesson. Nebraska, first ever matchup with Houston Christian coming up this weekend. But we'll take a look at a variety of other things, including the brief history of Houston Christian's program, Nebraska's history against FCS opponents, and more in that segment coming up at noon. We'll have our keys to the game coming up at 12:30. We'll have our picks at 1:30, and of course, we're excited to see whether or not Steve Sipple answers the phone today, and we're happy to have you here today. Actually, coming up in just a minute, we'll have our red jersey overreaction. Big red jersey overreaction.
Finally, good. Thank you.
Green Bay gets after the Washington Football Commanders last night. You starting to believe in the Green Bay Packers now?
Many are. Is that a Green Bay Packers shirt, Connor?
It's not. I'm not wearing a green shirt. I did not make it a 3 green shirt day week this week, but I am wearing my 1620 The Zone gear today. I'm just all 1620 The Zone now, and I walked in to my favorite bagel establishment, Bagel Bin, this morning, and the nice woman who made my bagels, she said, "You work at 1620 The Zone?" And I said, "How did you know?" I thought it was a good dad joke.
Good one.
She didn't ask any follow-up questions, which I was grateful for. And then I just ate my bagels in my car in the parking lot and then came to work. Josh, it was a great morning.
It sounds like it.
It was a great morning. Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez coming up this weekend.
Let's go.
We got a text from Norm before.
Norm,
just tuning in. Do we have any Crawford Canelo talk today? We do.
I got some things to say.
Josh has some things to say. Loud cars, the Royals being done. If you're interested in me just unloading it on the entire season. Top 25 college basketball programs over the last 25 years. Any interest in that topic, Josh?
Honk, honk.
Well, how do you know?
Honk, honk.
You must think pretty highly of Creighton to think that they're on that list. Maybe I'm just bringing it up just for fun.
I guess they probably did put crown champion Nebraska on the list as well.
I'm sure.
Only team in college basketball history
to win the crown. That's right. And maybe they'll continue on that streak this upcoming season. Also, we're going to find a way to get you all tickets to
things.
Bustle with the Boys and to Val's Pumpkin Patch
today
as well. So stay tuned for some cues to call as we go on throughout the afternoon. Pleased that you're with us today. We're off and running on a Friday here on 1620 The Zone.
After further review, the host is deemed to be out of bounds. The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
John Higgins Weather Guard, Omaha's roofing, gutter, and siding company, would like to thank our new customers affected by this year's spring and summer storms. We appreciate you hiring and trusting us to repair your roofs and homes. You made the call. No one has installed more Da Vinci roofs, and there's a reason why.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Full disclosure, I was going down the TV guide in our giant TV in our studio, and I was looking for some things to watch, just kind of scrolling through like a man of my age would do, Josh. What's standing out to me? And I got down to channel 36, which is TNT on Cox Cable.
Of course.
And I didn't go any further. School of Rock is on.
Yo-Yo Ma's cousin, little Nepotiz.
Jack Black is performing his very first rendition of the Legend of the Rent, I believe, right now to his class. What a movie! What a movie!
It's on right now.
Yep, and we'll be watching until I think 12:30.
Whoa!
Yeah, and then Dodgeball's on after that.
Hello.
Excellent news.
Okay.
Excellent news. All right. That's what's going on in our studio today. Elsewhere, there was a picture of a moon that went out earlier this week, and then Matt Rule talked about the moon and
going to
war and things like that. And we were like, what's that mean? And people were immediately like, maybe they're going to wear red jerseys. I don't know what people had heard about the red jerseys before, but it's been talked about quite a lot. this offseason, and it was kind of known going into the season, they are going to do a game with red uniforms, all red uniforms this year. And lo and behold, yesterday evening, this pops up on our timeline. If you're watching along with us on YouTube, look, Nebraska with their home red uniforms, with their road red pants. You might go with the red leggings if you're interested. And Nebraska is not, I can't really remember a time in which they have had red cleats either. So this person, this model in this photograph is extremely red. Here's some details if you're more interested. There's a picture of the N on the hip there. Those are just Nebraska's straight up road pants.
It's a good hip N.
And the red cleats with red socks, if you're interested as well. This is going to look great, Josh.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Have we reached the point in our Nebraska Football Society where we're done with yelling about things that have been tradition and things like that?
I feel this fan base will always get a little when, hey, we're going to go white on white this week.
Yeah, people, I mean, there's some bad memories there.
Yeah.
I get it.
I think that's the
the surrender whites.
That's the combo that is going to garner the most feelings.
So you have red uniforms. Why not wear them? The recruits love them.
They're always taking pictures in all reds.
They're always taking pictures in the all reds. And what do you know? Matt Rule says, we got to make this place cool. We got to make this place hip. Or if you were like a, shock jock or something like that, you would say Matt Rule hates tradition and it's acquiescing to 18-year-olds.
Ooh, yeah.
What do you think about that take, Josh?
Yeah.
Test that one out. No, I don't think that's the case. I have very few opinions on this other than it looks good. The tradition part doesn't really bother me much anymore. Many of the traditions have just slowly but surely kind of faded off into the mist over the years. And I don't even know that Nebraska wearing regular home uniforms is a quote unquote tradition as much as it is anywhere else. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has traditional home uniforms.
That's not ours.
But everyone has alternates. And I'm just excited that they didn't do anything that's like super Adidas coded.
Yeah.
And like, they didn't try out anything here. It's just, let's dig up our old red pants from the road jerseys that we wore in the first game of the year and combine it with the home jerseys that we wore in the second game of the year, and bang, we have a new uniform. The red cleats is a nice touch, though. Yeah. I think that'll look really good.
Hey, this is a cram down from Adidas to sell jersey. Like, it's not that, which is great. It looks normal.
Yeah. I'm very good with this.
Let's do this.
I'm in with it.
Also, it's Houston Christian. Who the hell cares?
Yeah, and I think they'll pop in the daytime.
Yeah,
a little bit as well. They would probably look good at night as well. But for the record, I haven't heard very much of like, this is horrible. I really haven't.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just missing it, but I really haven't. I think this is met with mostly excitement. And it turns out when you win games and you look good, that people are more willing to say, oh yeah, I'm on board with this. Whatever the coach wants, whatever the coach is feeling in any given moment. Like,
it's funny how that works out.
Matt Rule's podcast and him going on McAfee and all these various other things, like they sound a lot better when they win. Now, obviously, you run a small risk in this situation, in that if you lose to Houston Christian, it'd be the first ever FCS loss in school history. It would be a new low point for Nebraska football. And the red jerseys would be the banner carrier for the game. You would never actually, you might have to actually change your school colors if you lose this game this weekend. But obviously you would never wear the full red uniform again. Nebraska wearing the all reds for the first time since 1986. And so there is a small risk involved here, but I think the small risk is worth taking. Red jerseys, Josh. Red jerseys.
You're all about them.
I'm fine with them. I'm trying not to be overly supportive of it because it's not like I'm super fired up about it, but I am. I think it's fine that they're doing it.
If the kids are happy, they're gonna look good, play good. I'm all for it.
D Ocho writes in on YouTube.
Hi, D Ocho.
What game will the All Reds be for tomorrow?
Houston Christian.
Houston Christian. Nebraska plays football tomorrow. I don't know if you heard this. Hokey Skirt has an idea.
Hi, Hokey Skirt.
Hear me out. Black tops, red pants. Okay, now we might be going too far. I don't know.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I don't know how that would look. Somebody tested out on.
Give me a mock-up.
Somebody tested out on the college football video game and take a screenshot and send them in our way.
Yeah, perfect.
We'll see how that one looks. But I think it's great that Nebraska has combinations of uniforms that they could use without messing with the quote unquote tradition of having nice, clean uniforms, right? Oregon has a bunch of combinations, but Oregon has like 100 different things going on their uniforms. It gets a little bit, I feel like they don't even have a base anymore. Nebraska has a base. They have their red, they have their white, now they have their black, and whatever combo you want to go with on that. I'm sure they will wear, the all whites at some point this year.
Careful.
People have takes about them for sure, but I'm cool with it. I'm good with the red jerseys. Josh, that's my take.
I think that's a good, strong, rational take.
I'm a rational man.
From a rational human being.
John emails in the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, John.
The all-red uniforms may very well cost Nebraska the game. How is Raiola supposed to see his receivers in all-red uniforms in the new red end zones?
Oh, yeah, they'll just blend right in, won't they?
With the sea of red as well.
Hadn't thought about that, had you? Nope, you didn't.
I hadn't. Do you remember in the summer when people were worried about the end zones being a different color so they didn't step out of bounds?
That's right.
Remember that topic?
Those idiot players won't be able to tell the difference between the field and the end zone.
What a great topic. What a great topic that was. So there you go. All red jerseys tomorrow. Some are saying Nebraska's back. I wouldn't go that far. But I can't wait to see how they look. It'll be pretty exciting.
Hokey Sker has a great question.
Okay.
John is going to have an aneurysm. How does John Bishop feel about this?
I don't know. He's sitting right out there.
He's the one.
We could go ask him. And he's already done a radio show this morning with our friends from KLN and Lincoln. So maybe I'm sure you could find his take in there somewhere. I don't know, but I would assume. I don't know. It would be hard for me to be super passionate about this particular issue if you would refer to it as an issue, which I do not, as we've discussed over the last 7 minutes. Now it's over, and we could take a break, and Bryan Munson can join us on the other side. He is in touch with the Croots.
The Utes.
And the Croots are the reason why this is happening anyway.
Acquiescing to 18-year-olds.
So maybe we could ask him a little bit about that, what the visit weekend looks like this week, and more importantly, likely what it looks like next week when Michigan week is officially upon us. Michigan week 2, I should say. All right, we'll be back after this with Munson on 1620 The Zone.
Bryan Munson.
Hey, long call. Comfy left Zoom Buster. 63 Bang Z Maui. Alert. Paradise Z Burger White Wrap on one.
Husker Online on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right. We got a a tweet here from NU10 Skers. This is good. On the J-Check Construction Zone Twitter feed at Happer Show. Why couldn't the black shirts wear black jerseys like a volleyball bolero?
Bolero.
I don't think that's allowed in football, and I think you're trying to say libero.
You idiot. It's Valero, like the gas station.
It's just a mistype, I'm sure. Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Munson, hello. Happy Friday. How are you?
That's what I was saying too. I'm like, oh, there's a gas station out there. I didn't realize there was that component to the whole deal. So yeah, no, things are good, man. It's Friday, and Bills got a win Sunday night, and Nebraska looked really good last Saturday night. So lots of exciting things to talk. And recruiting was a big positive this weekend.
Yeah. So I want to look back and then look to tomorrow and then look ahead to a little bit to next week as well. But while we're on the jersey topic, I mean, I think this is probably inspired Nebraska wearing all red uniforms, a little bit inspired by the recruits who, constantly get their pictures taken with the all red if they get their choice, which they do. So I assume the response to this will be very positive coming off of the weekend.
I'd have to say that it would be. It is one of those popular ones. It's like they seem to always come out red on red, and then there always seems to be like that black helmet that usually gets kind of broken out here too. That I don't know. That was like one of the very first alternate helmets, I guess, that they rolled out, right? And I guess there's the other one that kind of had like the black stripe and the red end, and so yes, I think that this has been a very popular choice to kind of do the solid, top and bottom, same color. I think it's going to be a big hit. I'm a fan because obviously Buffalo will rip that one out from time to time, so I'm good with it. But I know there's several traditional kind of people out there with their opinions that aren't. But I think it's been one of the things, and I think you would agree. I think it's one of the nifty things that Oregon has kind of going their way is that they got about 1 billion different, uniform combinations that they can roll out there. They kind of predetermine it a little bit, as the season kind of goes. They'll say, hey, we're going to look this way this week and this way that week. And, then I think when they do roll out solid on solid, it does still look very, very good. So I think it's one of those things you can still maintain the tradition here. They're not getting all crazy with the cheese whiz. It's just red on red.
Yep, which is the right way to do it. There's nothing too crazy about it. It's just the base uniform, just with a different combination. So I assume that'll be a good thing from this weekend and how it looks. Let's look back to last week first. We talked going into the Akron game. It's a night game. It's traditionally one of the weekends where Nebraska is able to get some players in. It's early in the season. It's a late game. What was the takeaway from the young folks after Nebraska's 68-0 win?
100 yards of offense, night game, light show. The drones that were going on, etc. I don't think it really could have gotten much better. And I think the other part of it is you had a couple guys like boots on the ground, Torrey Pittman and Trey Taylor that seem to be kind of advocating, for things and are very much kind of ambassador-like when it comes to like what their role is within the class and how they kind of the stewardship that they kind of carry forward to kind of, talk to people. And I mentioned it with Trey Taylor. I've never seen anything like it. The guy is, I want to say like, where's Waldo? But I mean, he's giving out his location saying, hey, I'm walking here to here. Where do I need to go? And people are literally calling him over. And there's videos of them, tailgating, calling him over and laughing and dapping him up and shaking his hand and all these things. And I think I've ever seen anybody as accessible as that. And I think that and the funny thing is too, is like you ask him about that question right there, like, just how do you do it? Why, how is it like come so natural? And he just said, I think it's very difficult to go to Lincoln and not have people know that you're going to be a Husker. And he said, I'm going to embrace that. I'm going to go talk to those folks. I'm excited about the future. I mean, whenever you talk to him, it's so polished and so effortless for him to kind of rip off these incredible answers. So I think all in all, though, out of the weekend, you're hearing more and more about guys that are wanting to get back. And you're hearing about guys that like the offensive scheme and style of things happening under Dana. And I think that on the defensive side, you're hearing the same thing about Coach Butler and how they're being so, they're being pretty ruthless over there. They played a great game on Saturday night. And I think that those are the big key points. So everything that needed to happen on Saturday, with including great weather and all the good stuff, it all happened. It was a pretty perfect setting in Lincoln on Saturday.
All right, this upcoming weekend, I would imagine the crowd would be a little bit lighter and a little bit different, especially considering you're leading into a huge game next weekend. What are we looking for as far as visitors and events that Nebraska is trying to show off this weekend?
Yeah, a couple of carryovers from last week. I mean, obviously Dayton Raiola is going to be back in town. You got Torrey Pittman will be there week to week. Matt Erickson actually added himself back into the list. He was supposed to go to Notre Dame this weekend. So something popped up. He wasn't able to get all the way out to Indiana, but he can get to Lincoln and then get back to doing his things in Omaha. So that's really a good sign. And I don't think people can kind of, you need to kind of just admit that that's a good thing going on there with him. But there's, Reese Russell's coming into town. He's a big time interior offensive lineman from Valor Christian in Littleton, Colorado. He's coming in. He holds an offer. He's a 2027 guy there. And Wyatt Liebentritt, Omaha Scott safety, he picked up an offer from Penn State earlier on. I think that there's several guys that are going to pick up an offer, this weekend potentially. And I think that that's maybe the most interesting part of kind of what this weekend holds. Like you got Jevin Severson coming in, who's a 4-star 2028 tight end. And you have Jaden Stevens, who's like a 3-star athlete that really is getting looked at as a wide receiver, from Waverly, Iowa. But then like Declan Hain from Des Moines, lots of kids from Iowa. But I think that there's 3 or 4 guys that I kind of circle and say, I would look for offers here. I think it's Jevin Severson. I think Hain is another guy, a 2028 offensive tackle. I think in the 2027 group, the one guy that most interests me is like Savion Miller, but the 2027 running back board is stocked. And it's really going to be interesting to see maybe what Nebraska is thinking about there when it comes from him coming in from Iowa City and figuring out if he really makes sense, to add an offer to his list and maybe keep him warm a little bit as things kind of progress down the road with the other running backs that they've already had on their list for a number of months.
Saw that there was some conversation about a top target for 2027, Ahmad Hudson, who got a prediction from one of the big dogs a couple days ago to LSU. Obviously, he's a huge basketball prospect as well. We talked about him quite a bit over the summer during that 7-on-7 thing. And when Nebraska sort of unloaded that event in June, what does Nebraska's path forward look like with Hudson, who's going to be a top recruit in the 27 class?
Yeah, it's a massive bummer. I mean, Sam Spiegelman, number one, that's his neck of the world. So people think that maybe it's just kind of him reading tea leaves. I guarantee you it's not. I mean, he's in the boot. He's in Louisiana, so he sees and knows and talks to more people about that area than I could ever have in my Rolodex. So I'm guessing what he's hearing is pretty concrete. But again, path forward here is that even if Ahmad is coming to a realization, even if he decides to commit in the next month, you've got 14 months, 15 months between, that point and signing day. Granted, maybe if he doesn't like get into like some sort of a front-ended, NIL kind of deal agreement with LSU to where, he starts getting paid early by the university, then it gets a little different because you're contractually already in. And if you decided to flip on Nebraska or to Nebraska later on, you'd actually owe the money back. So there's some things there that it almost moves like once you slide over, it's like, you might as well just go ahead and sign with the school because they're already going to be starting to pay you. So I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of like maybe how that stuff kind of works out there. Nebraska definitely put their best foot forward. Trey obviously is very close with Ahmad. If there is room or if there is something that Nebraska can do, they're going to be pulling out all the stops. I think that they not just feel like he is a difference maker at tight end. I think they really felt like he could be an unusual kind of target that is really going to set up some key mismatches at the wide receiver position. I think that they really saw him as kind of more of a wide receiver, like a super X, and as well as like a hybrid Y, like a flex guy. So more to come. I mean, don't get too discouraged about that stuff. Things change on a dime. But I mean, I think we all would have realized, coming from Louisiana, that it would have been very difficult to kind of get him out of that part of the world to bring him up to Lincoln.
And then I saw that 2026 commit Nayland Scott reportedly is visiting another school this weekend. I guess, I mean, it's kind of that time of year. I don't know what you know about the situation, Bryan, but I guess, do you have any thoughts on a commit visiting another school?
I think Nebraska typically has been, okay with it. I don't think that they want to go out there and have a whole list of visitors or commitments that are taking visits to other places. I find it a little bit ironic since Scott, number one, had already flipped on his commitment from Arizona State to Nebraska, because I don't think Arizona State very much likes their commitments, taking trips. So I think it was kind of almost like set in motion the day that he set up, showed up back in Lincoln, that he was going to be flipping at some point down the line. So that's the first part. The second part is that, he's been hurt. He's been hurt the entire season so far. He hasn't played a lick of a game yet for his high school. So I guess you kind of wonder about like where the emphasis is at here a little bit with when it comes to returning to the field, taking a trip on to a school and actually being committed to another. It kind of to me at least throws some questionable signals my way.
Yeah, Georgia Tech is apparently where he's going to be this weekend, and then he is expected to come back for the Nebraska game against Michigan next week. So we'll see how that all shakes out. Speaking of next week, I assume Nebraska's sort of getting their ducks in order. It's a big game. It'll be a big atmosphere. It's probably the biggest home game of the year. It's not an 11 o'clock kickoff next week, which is advantageous always in recruiting. How is next week shaping up so far, whether it be from the recruit side and who's coming in, or from the Nebraska side in things that they're trying to put together?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about from a Michigan perspective.
Yes.
It's going to be a big week. It's going to be a big weekend. I mean, I think we can kind of all sit there and agree that Nebraska is going to be ready to go for that one. And it's been circled like on the list, for a while now, that I think that we can anticipate most, if not all, the 2026 commitments, getting back to town. I don't think Leon Noyle Jr. kind of felt like he was going to be able to get back. But I anticipate, most of the other ones getting in. Cameron Wilson is a guy that you and I talked about a lot, all the way going back to April when he showed up in Lincoln for the first time to June when he took his official visit. He is set to come back that weekend for the Michigan game, which I think is very interesting, because I still have a source, close to that situation that really feels like Nebraska's in a very good situation with him, despite him being a commitment to Syracuse since the end of March. So I think that's, and if you go down the list, I mean, you and I talked about this too, there's just not a lot of other targets that like Nebraska seems to be in a very good spot with when it comes to being defensive linemen. And so he's a long edge. Maybe he's a guy that potentially can kind of put on some size and move on down. But I mean, the 2027 group is going to be elite. that weekend. Let's just put it that way. You got Juju Johnson coming in, King Thibodeau coming in. King Thibodeau is just down the road from me at Garland Lakeview Centennial High School. Caden McCarty is going to be coming in. He's an edge from Houston Cy Falls. Will Slagle, another big offensive line, another guy from Iowa will be in there. I mentioned Bryson Brown, I think 2 weeks ago. He's going to be coming in, a 4-star cornerback from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And then you got like Zyke Scott, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a big-time linebacker is going to be there too. So I think it's going to be span of control being managed, 20 recruits-ish, and going to be very much like on par, like as what you had the first week, like with Akron, when he has just like that real star, the number of star guys that are going to be in town that weekend. So it's definitely going to be a big weekend for Nebraska when it comes to recruiting.
It's a huge week, and we'll save most of it for next week, as we'll talk on the day before the game. But no doubt about it, I would imagine Nebraska will pull out all the stops for everything that they possibly can to show off. That's a question for you. Like a week out, can you sense how many eggs Nebraska is putting into that basket for next week? It feels like a big game for the program, and obviously a big game for recruiting and just the whole picture.
Massive. I think that this has been one of the games that they've had circled. Like there's really, 3 games I feel like they kind of, had circled for a while. And I think it's been the Akron game where obviously we saw a very, very good group of recruits come in. I think Michigan's going to be slightly better. I think the other one's USC, and USC has been really an interesting game, even going back to the guys that they brought in very late in the June cycles where they were doing individual workouts. There were a lot of defensive backs came in from California, and they were being sold on the idea already, like in June, of getting back for the USC game. So I don't think Nebraska is shying away from having a very good opponent, there in Lincoln that weekend, and trying to show some other guys like how Nebraska plays football against, a team that they're probably a little bit more familiar with.
Yep, no doubt about it. Looking forward to talking more about it next week. All right, Munson, we'll let you go. Who do your Bills have this weekend? Oh, the Jets, right?
The Jets.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to say something. It was a great win on Sunday night. I might be interested in the other side on this one. Just a little bit. I don't know. There's something. They're so solely focused on one person. Like they have to have Josh Allen be so good, and he does it every time, to his credit, that my analytical brain just continues to think, okay, can this really happen over and over and over again? And I don't know.
Well, Ed Oliver on the injury list.
Yes,
now
huge.
Within a walking boot. Not good. He's got the fumble on Derrick Henry, but you're right. The keep typically comes out on Josh far too often, and you want it to be a little bit more consistent, and not play the catch-up game in the fourth quarter either. So you won't always be able to do that in the NFL. Yeah. You just can't get away with it.
Well, it'll be a fun weekend of football. All right, Munson, can't wait to talk to you next week before the Michigan game. Have a great weekend.
You do the same, buddy. See ya.
Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com. He's got the Tunnel Talk, his part of the Tunnel Talk up right now. It is
tunnels.
That's a great point, Josh. I almost forgot about my love for tunnels. I didn't think about Tunnel Talk as a tunnel.
It's right there in the name.
It's a light week this week in terms of information. I think, it's just we didn't learn a lot this week. The best thing that happened was Rule's halftime speech coming out. Shout out to Will Compton and them wearing red jerseys now. This has been the biggest thing, and people learning about the CVS inside of the parking lot of the Houston Christian Stadium. That's it. That's really the week in review. By the way, Freddie from School of Rock was just getting a stern talking to because he went out to, have a cigarette with the boys in the van. So
I love the idea of updating the audience.
Well, there's usually sports going on our.
Yeah, we update them about that.
We update them on that. Yeah. And currently they're getting turned down for Battle of the Bands.
Could you believe it?
Yeah.
They're going to have egg on their face.
Yeah. I think Jack Black is telling them that they're disabled or something like that. Isn't that how he gets them in to the show? Whatever it is. They're all very disappointed. They're going to have to go back to school.
Look at those sad children, all wearing some form of gray or black. It's a very monochromatic movie.
So we'll make sure we keep you updated on all things School of Rock as we go on throughout the show. We'll keep those updated for the next hour. Dave says 1620, the dissemination. I mean, we're not. Well, I guess you can't see it on Josh's screen, so we can. I think we can live and legally describe what's going on in School of Rock, right? It's a rerun.
It's not
It's not happening live.
Yeah, it's not one of the. They don't play a warning. Now we can't air it.
No, we can't air it, but I can certainly watch it and describe it. Hey, people do that. That's the whole point of half the people with podcast these days, or like live stream.
Hey, they all just watching the same thing.
They just watch stuff and you're like, what, do you want to watch along for my reaction?
Mm-hmm.
Stupid, by the way, but people make a living off of it.
They do.
People make a living off of it.
They do it for clicks.
All right, we'll be back. Brian Christopherson is coming up next. We'll talk a little bit more on the field, football related items. Last week, we asked him about his memories of the 1997 Akron game, and he came up with that great line about Makovica. So I wonder.
Tom Osborne's favorite touchdown.
Yeah, it's that should be a T-shirt. Tom Osborne's favorite touchdown. I mean,
get on it, guys.
What a great mantle to have. Tom Osborne's favorite touchdown.
Absolutely, I'd be telling everybody about that.
So maybe we'll ask BC to go down memory lane again with topics of Nebraska playing 1AA schools. Remember when it was the 1AA, Josh?
I do. I often reminisce about what a better time that was.
We'll be back with BC coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Brian. Brian Christopherson.
I gotta take this. It's Hap.
B. Rooney drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Joined now by Bryan Christopherson, who always likes to play it cool. He never likes to twist the knife. I heard him the morning after the Vikings beat the Bears on Tuesday morning, and Matt was distraught, and he was thinking that it was all over for him. And BC was like, I think it's, thank you, but I think you guys are going to be okay this year. Just playing it cool. Very, very smart move by Bryan Christopherson, who joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Hi, BC.
Hi. No, it probably is all over for Matt. I didn't want to say that to him, but hopefully he's not listening now.
That's what I'm thinking. Now that we have some separation from him, he's probably not listening. Yeah. Like, what is there anything that you want to say about the Bears?
No, you just don't want to get too cocky because your football team, in my case, the Vikings, played decent for like 10 to 12 minutes. So that was really, that was basically that game. It wasn't like it was a nice piece of art by the Vikings for most of the night. Like, I was sitting like slouched, just like with the volume. I had the volume off because I didn't want to hear those Bears fans yucking it up at my boys. And so I had the volume down. I was slouched, and then things started to turn. And I actually had this stupid thought. I was like, I'm not changing my posture. I'm just going to stay slouched. I like how things are going. I'm going to stay kind of depressed, like it's going terrible, even though it's not now. And sure enough, it worked out for me. But I don't want to get have too much bravado after a win like that.
You can say, though, that you could say that the Vikings have the best coach in the NFL, maybe one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Oh, I love KOC. There's no doubt about it. He wins one-score games just like nobody's business. So you got to give him his due there. So, he's got that mindset that every coach should strive for. It feels like, where when crap's hitting the fan, it doesn't seem like it is, at least on the sideline. And I think his players feed off that.
Do you remember, BC? So last week we had that memory lane with Akron, the game in 1997, and you had the great little nugget that Makovica had one of Tom Osborne's favorite touchdown runs in that game, which was great. Do you remember at all the first time Nebraska played an FCS or 1AA school? 1992, a 48-7 win over Middle Tennessee State.
I don't have a specific memory from the game. Bizarrely, when you said the score, I was like, yep, that's right. I remember this is a terrible skill. Like, I have like two skills, and sadly, this is one of them. I remember scores like from 1988 to like 1995 with Nebraska football. And when you said 48-7, I was like, okay, yeah, that's right. I don't remember, though, like how they got there. Sort of all my bandwidth has been used on the 1986 Nebraska-Oklahoma wearing all red uniforms game in the last 12 hours. So that's the problem.
There you go. Okay, well, we could go down that road too. What do you remember about the last time Nebraska wore all red uniforms in 1986 against Oklahoma?
I remember it's when a wee BC who was just 5 years old but was watching football, I remember it, realized life's not fair. Football is a beautiful game, but it can be cruel. Nebraska led 17-10 over Oklahoma with like 4 minutes to go, was playing great defense. And they had OU pinned inside their 10, and then they gave up like a 90-yard drive. Keith Jackson got loose, the tight end, not the announcer. And they tied it. I just talked with Schaefer. We looked at the box score. OU tied that game with 1:22 left. And Barry Switzer kicked the extra point like a coward. Wow. And then Nebraska, though, played to win and went 3 and out so fast that OU actually got the ball back, completed a long pass, and ends up winning a game, which was really undeserved sort of by the way Switzer played it. You could act like there was some genius to it. But, he was playing for a tie, and OU ends up winning 20-17. And so that was the last time Nebraska wore all red uniforms. That was that was back when the red on the pants and the jersey didn't quite match right.
Yeah.
And it was sort of clunky looking. And now uniforms are sleeker, and you see the recruits wear the all red, and it looks pretty cool. So I think it's going to be a much better fashion show than it was back in 1986.
I agree. And you're busting about against Houston Christian, a game that you're going to win. So you don't have to worry about the uniforms being cursed yet or anything like that, which is exciting.
Yeah, that's something you should maybe do. Like you pull out certain uniforms for games where you're like, okay, there's a 99% chance this is going to be a win. And we don't have people talking about this stupid curse stuff on all these various topics. So, yeah, you would hope that we're not if they truly do lose in those things tomorrow, then I would say, yes, you might have to burn all red uniforms and not wear them ever again. That might be a cause for it, actually, if that were to occur.
For the game, and from what you've seen over the last 2 weeks, what is your current concern level of Nebraska only having two? You could combine them, right? 2 sacks and 3 forced turnovers so far. Is there is that a thing that we're watching yet, or how high does that register for you?
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, Matt Rule himself brought it up on Thursday. Like we got to get basically home a little bit more, got to get more pressure on the quarterback and get there. And so I think it's on their mind that they haven't got enough done there. Now the ball has come out quick from the teams they've played it, but it doesn't feel like there's been quite enough chaos around the quarterback so far in the season. So you definitely are looking for that to jump. And I think tomorrow what I want to see is I really want to see a dominating run defensive performance. Like you don't want to see leaky yards. Like Rule mentioned last week, like last year, when they lost to Illinois, it was sort of preceded by kind of a rough performance against Northern Iowa. They won by 31, but no one felt great about how they played. They gave up a lot of rushing yards, wasn't great in the trenches. And so I think you want to walk out of tomorrow feeling like the D-line really, stomped its foot on Houston Christian in this game, because you know that the competition is going to go way up in a week, and Michigan's going to want to enforce its will there and test Nebraska there. And so it would be discouraging, I think, if you felt like Nebraska was getting pushed around a little bit or giving up extra yards tomorrow.
From a statistical standpoint, or I guess from an overall standpoint, I didn't really even think about this until I saw it in Keith's notes this week about Nebraska now going through what will highly likely be a second straight season where they go undefeated in the non-con. They'll have a 4-game winning streak. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where they couldn't get together 3 games in a row. I'm not saying that they need their flowers or anything for this 4-game winning streak that they're about to have, because the Michigan game is going to be a very, very important bookend to that. But I don't know. It gets consistent in a hurry. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like you're almost to that point where it's like, all right, well, I'm not really one big win against Akron and a couple other wins before that can really get you thinking, oh wow, I mean, I trust them in these situations.
Yeah, that's true. And that's also why, if we go back to the game at Arrowhead, I was in that crowd that was like, hey, they got the win. They got out of there and they can grow now these next couple of weeks. And you'll think they're going to be 3-0. And, there's a sort of a good feeling that builds up, even though you're playing lesser competition, because guys are starting to rack up reps and they have some good things happen. I think, though, what's nice about it, the stat you're mentioning is good, but it was the way they handled their business this last Saturday. And now you want to see it again, where you felt like for the first time in a while, it was just consistent, like a drumbeat from the first team to the second team to the third team, where everyone was motivated and just kept their foot down on the gas. And that's something this fan base has always appreciated. I do think this is a place where some of us of a certain age, even through all these lean years, still in the back of our mind, we're connected to Nebraska, like with these blowout scores that maybe even some other powerhouse programs didn't have quite to that level, where it was always like these 52-7 games. And so there is a great appreciation around here. Not that there isn't in other places, but I think it goes back to the 90s and 80s where there's that feeling of, I love when you see the backups go in and they know their job and you just keep the wheel turning. And so that was the best thing about last week. And then you're hoping that you see that again, because that does tell you something about a team, that they have some maturity to go handle a game they should handle.
Would you expect the same, around the same level of usage for Emmett Johnson this week as it was last week?
Yeah, I would think so. I think you want to keep the hits off him as much as possible, but obviously have him get his numbers early if you can get them. And there should be an inspiration from guys like him and Raiola to be out of this game in the third quarter, and let the other guys get snaps again. And then you want to see Micaiah and Mosey and Quentin Ives look good. Like they need to take another step this week. So yeah, that's definitely the hope. And I think it's useful too when you get those other guys in the game. Like last week, Quinn Clark got his first touchdown. Mekhi Nelson got his first touchdown. It's good when you can sort of check some boxes off for guys and they just get that out of the way and then they can move on to the next thing.
Yep.
And so, maybe let's like Cortez Mills or somebody tomorrow catches one and takes it in, whoever. It's good that you can have those type of games where that stuff happens, because I do think that matters to a guy's confidence. Like, okay, I've done that. Now let's go do the next thing.
All right, BC, final score prediction. What do you got?
I have it toned down a little bit from last week, but I think Nebraska will be fairly ready. It sounds like they've had the week of detail, and there's an understanding, like, we just can't let this thing slide right now because we know what's ahead. So I'll say 52-7, with some respect given to the fact that, remember, they camped with Houston Christian last summer in Houston, looking at some recruits and stuff like that. So I don't think Nebraska is going to want to embarrass anybody, but they do need to like continue to be that team that is, you take someone out in the first three quarters and then you maybe let off the gas a little bit with your play calls, but I think it'll be 52-7.
All right, BC, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the football, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Brian Christopherson from Husker 24/7. So since I almost botched that stat, Nebraska's, we'll just read it directly from Keith, man. Nebraska's 8-game winning streak against non-conference competition is the longest by the Huskers since a 12-game winning streak spanning over the 99 to 2001 seasons. Nebraska is a perfect 3-0 in conference play in 24 and then beat Boston College, of course, in the Pinstripe Bowl before last season. Nebraska's previous unbeaten non-conference season was 2016. So Nebraska's looking to win their 9th consecutive non-conference game and complete league non-league play unbeaten for the second straight year. I know, once again, we don't have to make them a trophy for this. We don't have to hang a banner, but these are the steps that you need to take. And their schedule has allowed them to do so. And they got by Cincinnati. They won a close game against Cincinnati. So you've checked a couple boxes early in the season, but you're right. We probably won't learn much until they play Michigan next week. We've gone to commercial in School of Rock. Jack Black has just taken out Joe Cusack for beers inside of the biker bar.
Hell yeah.
They sing just like the one wind does, singing. And she was getting a little loose with it. So we're in a commercial break. What happens next?
Who's to say?
I don't know, but I'll know. We're watching on silent, and it really is like it's a pretty, in the quotable movies for me, it's pretty high up there.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's pretty close to the top, Josh. Like, obviously, I think I know almost every line in Dumb and Dumber.
Sure. You're a red-blooded American.
School Rock is not that far off. So there you go. Black Cat says, we're watching School of Rock. No time for Husker talk. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
The Black Cat actually turned on his TV and turned on silent on TNT. I love this. Also, John writes in on YouTube.
Hi, John.
Is Connor's partner gone forever? No, my partner is Josh, and
that's me.
He is here. And other than that, there are no partners. It's just me and my boy.
I'm the only partner you need.
Yep, that's exactly.
I got this.
And speaking of things that you got, the odd news is next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys?
September is the ideal time to have Patera Landscaping plant some beautiful, healthy bushes and trees to give your landscape more color and privacy. Picture yourself being the host of the year, grilling steaks and burgers on your new outdoor kitchen and your stunning new patio by Patera Landscaping. And what could be better on crisp, cool autumn evenings than a stylish, durable new fire pit from Patera? Go to PateraLandscaping.com.
If you want a perfect landscape, call Patera.
Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill serves pizza with an unforgettable pizza sauce.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
It is great to know that the listeners of the show and the hosts of the show are on exactly the same wavelength.
We get each other.
Because the topic that is going on in our chat right now is Mount Rushmore of Jack Black movies. And it was a discussion that we had before the last break.
Oh, yeah. We had it before the audience started having it, yeah.
Which, I mean, it's we didn't bring it to the air yet, but now is a great time to talk about it.
Sure.
And two of the movies that I mentioned have already been mentioned in the chat. School of Rock, obviously happening right now. Great movie. And Saving Silverman, both Connor Happer classics. Both Connor Happer classics.
That list is growing.
Now, can you put the watch the movie? Can you put the cameo in Anchorman? You know, what do you love, man?
I mean,
Can you put it in there? I don't think you can.
I don't think you can. You guys do what you want.
What would you do? You're the movie connoisseur.
I wouldn't put it in mine. All right. 4 Jack Blacks. It's
Nacho Libre.
It's School of Rock, Saving Silverman.
Tenacious D. I mean, but I don't really.
That movie's garbage.
Yeah, I don't really like Tenacious D, the movie.
Could I go Tropic Thunder?
Is that when he was at his best? I don't know.
Boy, Shallow Hal has not aged well. I
Holy
imagine,
crap!
But
wait, what was he in Shallow Hal?
Shallow Hal, he was the guy. He was the male lead.
Yeah, he was. I'm sorry. I was confusing him with Jason Alexander's character, the one with the tail.
The tail.
Yeah. Okay, that's another Connor Happer classic. Is Jack Black my favorite actor?
I like Mars Attacks.
Good options for you. Yes, I mean, Saving Silverman, School of Rock, and Shallow Hal are all on it for me. So I'm really only playing with one spot here. I'm sure Josh's list would be completely different. Justin writes in on Twitter.
Hi, Justin.
Orange County, and Nick also says Orange County. Saving Silverman and Tropic Thunder. So we are including Tropic Thunder. I have not seen the Minecraft movie, nor did I care about Kung Fu Panda. Nacho Libre is not a Connor Happer classic, but it was a movie that Connor Happer watched a lot. It came out at the right time for me.
Sure.
Yeah. It was in the Napoleon Dynamite age,
Yes.
right on that track. That could be it for me.
He's
Sky
great.
Rocks.
He's great as Bowser in the Mario movie, guys. I'm telling you.
Asian Joe is High Fidelity a Jack Black movie. You would have to tell me, Josh. I don't know what High Fidelity is.
Yeah. He and John Cusack work in a record store.
Okay. John Cusack also in Con Air.
A Connor Happer classic.
For the 402, could you slide in Cable Guy? Cable Guy.
Ooh, yeah.
That's got to be a Jim Carrey movie.
Sure.
But yes, he is in there. Jumanji. Interesting. Chris in South Carolina. A lot of people mentioning Orange County. Do I need to watch Orange County, Josh?
I remember I saw it when it came out. I remember enjoying it. I don't remember much from it.
Now people seem to really enjoy it according to the chat right now.
You love Tom Hanks. Do you love his son?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
He has multiple children. Some of them are successful. Some of them are huge D-bags.
I'm not really sure about any of his children. I just know about Daddy. Mr. Hanks. All right. What do we got
Ice
today?
Age? Are you in on Ice Age?
I liked Ice Age. What did he do?
He was Zeke. I don't remember
And
Zeke.
Is that the squirrel?
No. That was Scrat.
Okay. So no, that's gonna be a no for me, dog. All right, odd news. What do we got?
Well, it's tough filming a documentary because they don't really, you kind of wait on doing those sit down interviews. Like, okay, now what do we have to make our movie? So sometimes if you're asked to sit down for one of these things, you don't necessarily know the way it's going to go, but maybe you should. David Sampson was recently asked to sit down for 9 hours by the folks from Netflix.
Ooh, who's David Sampson?
He assembled the championship Marlins teams and then ripped them apart.
Sure.
He also ran the Expos until there were no more Expos to run.
Okay. So they asked him some tough questions that he wasn't quite ready for.
They asked him some questions for a documentary that didn't have a title at the time, but is now called "Who Killed the Montreal Expos?" And he says, "I didn't realize what was happening to me until after it was over."
That's actually awesome.
They said,
"Great job by the doc crew to just sneak that one by him."
They said, we'll come to your house. And I thought, okay. It was 9 hours long. And I thought to myself, what's this about again? I didn't know the title, and I now know it's called Who Killed the Montreal Expos.
Spoiler alert, it's me.
I had to call my agent. I called my lawyer. I called my kids, and I said, I may have just made a terrible mistake.
That's amazing.
I was doing the interview, and I thought to myself, I'm doing great. I'm slightly concerned with how the edit's going to go. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's like if they would have been able to interview what's his name, the GM of the Bulls, the guy he just got thrown under the bus. What was his name?
Krause.
Yeah, Jerry Krause.
Yeah,
but he was dead at the time where they did that.
He was.
So it's like if they would have been able to interview him, but Jerry Krause didn't know that it was going to be about the Bulls. Oh, it's about all the other things, all the other great things that you did in your life. Wow, that's awesome. Great news.
So that's coming out at the end of the month, next month.
I might be interested in
Who Killed the Montreal Expos?
And the Marlins.
Yes. It is Video Game Day, Connor. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get this right. Today is National Video Games Day.
Oh, God.
Not to be confused with National Video Game Day, which is celebrated in July, of course.
Sure.
So I have some Guinness World Records
All
for
right.
you.
Okay.
Most video game consoles hooked up to a single television. That would be 444 of them.
Wow. Sounds like a electricity risk.
What if I told you that it took place in the man lives in Saudi Arabia?
I have no comment on that.
Okay, probably smart. What else is in here that's worth it? The longest ever run of playing World of Warcraft is 78 and a half hours.
That sounds right. Not by a man in Saudi Arabia, right? That's definitely by like an American guy in his basement.
New Jersey veteran Justin O'Donnell, thank you for your service. He was allowed a 5-minute break each hour.
Dude, they're catching Mr.
got?
Schneebly. Sarah Silverman's up there right now. She just figured out that Jack Black was playing Ned Schneebly the entire time. It's about to hit the fan.
Yeah. World's oldest video game blogger is an 88-year-old Asian man.
Once again, no comment.
That's fun. Finally, did you watch NC State Wake Forest last night?
No, I didn't. Who won? Bad question.
The game was at one point tied 14-14.
Josh, you were like the documentary crew just then.
I had no idea what was happening to me.
Let's see. NC State, I called it.
Wow.
34-24.
You heard it here first.
I watched the NFL last night.
On Thursday, both teams faced off for the 119th time. It was the ACC opener for both teams. NC State played Virginia in a non-conference game Saturday, so don't try and actually me. During the game, an enormous cloud of smoke settled over Allegacy Federal Credit Union Stadium. A food truck caught on fire in the parking lot, and the smoke just sort of wafted over to the field and sat there for the first half of the game.
Nice. It's like when they shoot off fireworks and the first 5 minutes of the game is just smoke.
Exactly.
Or they used to do that at like at the Devaney Center. They would they would have smoke machines at the top of the arena, and they would like blow them off when the team came back out on the floor to create this kind of like old school 70s and 80s type of haze. Like there were smokers allowed in the building. It's supposed to make the pictures better from what I'm told.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so they also have those flashers at the top of the building as well that go off. They're hooked up to the guys' cameras. And so it's all to make it look better in still photography.
I never knew.
Yeah, there you go. You learn a lot on the odd.
What a great segment. I've learned a lot.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
A great segment. Can't wait till School of Rock is back for its final half hour. We are reaching the climax of a great movie. And we're reaching the climax of this show as well. The noon hour. We'll take a history lesson, take a dive in Nebraska's history against FCS opponents. They're 15-0 going into tomorrow. We'll also take a look at the first time Nebraska played a 1AA team and a look at Houston Christian's history as a football program.
That's a lot to do.
It's not, because it's only been a thing for about 10 years.
It's not.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of topics in there, but Houston Christian as a football history, not much.
Oh, okay.
Not much going on. First ever matchup between Nebraska and Houston Christian tomorrow. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
He gives you the latest sports news, interviews, and life-changing commentary with a smile on his face. Because he wears those ticklish underpants.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, noon hour, the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. We got football coming up on Saturday, but Sunday morning is, of course, for, what does he say? Bacon, eggs, and the morning paper and Severe Reactions. Hosted by Michael Severe.
I know him.
8 to 10 Saturday morning on 1620 The Zone. It is a must listen for me each weekend to get ready for the week.
Sometimes Sipple appears on that show too.
Sometimes Sipple appears on that show as well. Sometimes he's sleepy, like after a night game the previous week. He did last week, though. So we'll see if Sipple appears with us today. We are reaching a very pivotal point of the movie School of Rock. The cops are about to come in because Sarah Silverman told on Jack Black. And
disgusting.
It's parent-teacher conference night, and it's all about to happen. Joan Cusack's finding out about it right now. She's devastated.
She don't know what to do.
She's like, I'm Ned Schneebly. And Jack Black's currently explaining that he's had a great time with the children of the class, even though he's an imposter. What a movie! What a movie.
Classic.
A Connor Happer classic. All right, our history lesson today. No previous matchups between the University of Nebraska football Cornhuskers and the Houston Christian Huskies, who visit tomorrow at 11 a.m. on FS1. It'll be called by Eric Collins and Spencer Tillman. No previous matchups, but this is the 16th all-time game that Nebraska has against an FCS foe. At the time of the game, they started only playing one AA opponents in 1992. So 15-0 in those contests so far. Once again, as always, shout out to Amir Abdullah for scoring against McNeese State late.
He should have won the Heisman for that play.
The Grunt Kick era might have started a lot earlier. Like 6 to 8 weeks earlier, had Amir Abdullah not scored that touchdown, because then they go to overtime and they lose to McNeese State, and I don't know what happens after that. Nebraska probably doesn't beat Iowa in overtime that year.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe Bo gets fired earlier. You think they would have ran him out of town just instantly if they lost to McNeese State?
It's possible.
He was on pretty thin ice.
Yeah.
It's on pretty thin ice. Remember, they brought him back after 2013. 2014 was rocky in a variety of different ways. Although I do suppose they got 408 put up on them by Melvin Gordon just a few weeks after that, and then they beat Iowa later. Wow, what a memory. The 2014 season. Last time Nebraska played an FCS opponent was just last year when they beat Northern Iowa 34-3. All of Nebraska's games against FCS opponents have occurred since 1992, including facing an FCS opponent for 5 straight seasons from 2010 to 2014. Houston Christian is a member of the Southland Conference. Nebraska 3-0 all-time against current members of the Southland Conference, beating McNeese State twice and Nichols State once. So for our history lesson today, those notes are all courtesy of Keith Mann and the game notes for this week.
Thank you, Keith.
I thought that we would take a look at the very first time that Nebraska played an FCS opponent, or 1AA at the time. Middle Tennessee State, 48-7, as confirmed by Brian Christopherson just a little under an hour ago. That sounds right to me. He remembers all the scores. Nebraska was number 11 at the time. Calvin Jones scored a 2-yard touchdown in the first quarter. It was 14-7 at halftime before Nebraska put on 34 in the second half and won 48-7. 11 different Nebraska running backs combined for a season high 490 yards rushing, 600 yards of total offense. And so if you break that down, Derek Brown, 154 yards, Calvin Jones, 119 yards, Mike Grant, 68 yards, Lance Lewis, 59 yards, Andre McDuffie, 34 yards, David Fiala, 12 yards, Jeff Makovic, 12 yards, Corey Schlesinger, 6 yards, Joel Cornwell, 5 yards, John McMillan.
What a great name for
Mr. Cornwell. Mr. Cornwell. Tommy Frazier got in this game. Went 2 for 5 with 23 yards.
Give him the Heisman.
Joel Cornwell was a backup quarterback in this game. He threw an interception. Brooke Barringer also played in this game.
Hello.
He was 0 for 2. This was in 1992, but I always like to look at the Husker Max page to just see what people were talking about during this time. So it has a variety of different links and headlines from the Omaha World Herald. And this one stood out to me. Fans must hold fervor to allotted 18 inches.
Excuse me?
This is from the World Herald, September 13th, 1992, written by T.L. Hennion. Everyone knows that Memorial Stadium has been sold out for the last 184 games in a row, an NCAA record. And most folks who attend Nebraska home football games know that they are shoehorned into the stadium. Scarlet-clad sardines.
Just wait on both of those stats.
But probably fewer fans know just exactly how much space their ticket buys, how much room they can call their own when attending Nebraska home games. The bottom line for bottoms in the bleachers, 18 inches. Yes, the average space in Memorial Stadium, as in most college stadiums around the country, is 1.5 feet. So if you think it's crowded at Nebraska games, if you feel like 10 pounds of mud and a 5-pound sack, you're not alone. And if it feels so crowded that the leg you scratch isn't your own, well, Oklahoma and Colorado must be in town. Bill Shepard, who's in charge of maintenance at Memorial Stadium, said, quote, some of our rows have 20 seats in them. Some have 22. Some have 23. Some have 24. But let's face it, if you put 30 seats in one of those rows, then 30 folks are going to find a way to sit there. That was the old school way of thinking, Josh. Now we are all about comfort and things like that. You want to scratch your own leg. Charlie and Doris Hoke of Omaha have been attending Nebraska games for about 20 years and have been seated at various places in the stadium, but no matter the seat, they said it's always a tight fit. Mrs. Hoke said that that's the price of Husker fans. That's the price that they pay for cheering for a winning football team. Quote, I'd rather be sitting really close to somebody than watching a game in an empty stadium, Mrs. Hoke said. You want wide open spaces? Go to a New Mexico or New Mexico State or Oregon State game. Shout out to those schools.
Odd schools to single out, but okay.
How about Oklahoma's Memorial Stadium? How big are the Sooners seats? 18 inches. Quote from Bob Connor, who is the stadium supervisor at Oklahoma. We had one guy, maybe 350 or 400 pounds, who always bought 2 season tickets side by side. Smart move.
Yeah.
Kansas Memorial Stadium, 18 inches. Pretty standard. Cyclone Stadium at Iowa State, later known as Jack Trice Stadium, 18 inches. Notre Dame, 17 inches.
Whoa!
Mike Enright, the assistant sports director at Notre Dame, said, quote, it's like this. The bigger the rump, the more space it takes up. Something or somebody has to give, but we always seem to find a way to get everyone in.
That quote from Notre Dame.
That's true. It's true. While Memorial Stadium was packed again for Middle Tennessee State, 76,000 plus fans showed up for a Division I AA opponent. It wasn't business as usual. Many fans weren't regulars. For example, check out section 22, row 22. Adolph Picorni and his wife.
Sorry, who?
Adolph Picorni and his wife, both from Schuyler, have been sitting in that row for more than 30 years. But Saturday, relatives and friends used their tickets and their seats. The 4 seats belonged to Ted Huston of Broken Bow, Houston probably, taken by friends and relatives while Houston sat in another friend's seats elsewhere. Quote, it doesn't seem to matter how big the seats are or who we play. Those seats are going to be filled. Saturday was also Red Cross Appreciation Day in the stadium in recognition of the volunteers who staffed the 2 medical facilities at the stadium. So this is what they were talking about back in 1992, Josh. The pulse of the fans.
Dave Fight chimes in.
All right.
He says, if memory serves correctly, this article was accompanied by a full-size diagram in the paper with a ruler showing how big 18 inches is.
Dave, excellent memory. I'm sure you're right.
Yes.
I'm sure you're right. Tom Chattel wrote a column in the World Herald. Trip worth it for MTSU. I'll read the beginning. There are 15 proud alumni of Middle Tennessee State University living in Nebraska, and John Link was one of the few crazy, brave, or lucky enough to show his face Saturday at Memorial Stadium. At any given moment, it was any or all of the above. Fumble! Link screamed as a Husker did just that in the second quarter. Shut up, John! A friend yelled back. He couldn't. Not today. 51 weeks of the year, Link is Mr. Big Red. But on Saturday, Link, a chief of recreation at the VA in Lincoln, was in his own cosmic world against the wheelchair patients he escorts to Nebraska home games, who were all yelling at him to shut up.
Good column.
And it was more than okay. The Blue Raiders had just thrown a bomb to tie the game at 7.
No!
Link was making sure everyone saw his MTSU sweatshirt. So there's a great story about a Middle Tennessee State fan who was right there in Lincoln.
And now look at Middle Tennessee State.
I would expect that you see similar stories in the papers on Sunday. Some human interest stories, maybe.
Will there be a diagram about butts?
Maybe. Guess what? It's still 18 inches.
It hasn't changed.
Some of the rows have 20. Some of the rows have 22. Some of the rows have 23. Some of the rows have 24. Some of the rows have 30. You know? You know what row you're sitting in, and if you're fortunate enough to get there early, you're in good shape because you stake out your butt space. If you're not there early, you're going to be in some trouble. You're
scratching someone else's leg.
Jed writes in.
Jed?
It'd be hysterical if they measured asses on the way into the stadium. Can I see? What's going on
That
here?
looks like it might be pushing capacity. I'm going to need to measure your butt.
Text from 402.
I-402.
My grandma's had tickets in the North Stadium since it was built. When I used to go with her as a kid, there were 2, quote, fat ladies, her words, that would show up over an hour early and never stand up so they wouldn't lose their seats.
That's what you got to do.
I wouldn't call those people fat ladies. I would call them smart ladies.
Yeah. Black Cat chimes in on the YouTube stream.
Hey, Black Cat.
Good thing the butt sniffer is locked up right now.
That is a great point. Butt sniffer's heaven. Seth writes in.
Hi, Seth.
What year is this article from? People have gotten much fatter since then.
No, that can't possibly be true.
1992, Seth, and I would imagine that people have gotten a little fatter since 1992, although maybe not at Oklahoma, where apparently they had 350 to 400 pound guys buying 2 seats back in the day.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to buy 2 tickets. Remember when they made you do that on planes and people were outraged and Kevin Smith had a heart attack?
Yeah. I think they still do that, right?
Like, do they? I have no idea.
I think I don't know.
They haven't asked me to buy a second seat
yet. Yeah, not
so
yet.
Good.
Not yet. We're not at that point yet. So 48-7 that day. 1993, they played North Texas, who was 1AA at the time. They won 76-14. And then 02, McNeese State, 38-14. 04, that now we're starting to get into games that people like you and I can remember, Josh. 04, Western Illinois, 56-17. 05, Maine. I do remember that 05 Maine game. 25-7, yeah.
25-7.
Yeah. Sign of things to come that year.
Maine.
06, Nichols State, 56-7.
That's what we called it at the time.
2010, South Dakota State, 17-3. 2011, Chattanooga, 40-7. 2012, Idaho State, not Idaho, not Montana.
I apologize.
73-7. 2013, I remember I was triggered at this game. 2013, South Dakota State, 59-20. Zach Zenner ran all over the place. He was running like crazy. 2014, McNeese State, shout out to Amir Abdullah, 31-24. And then not again until 2018, Bethune-Cookman with their fat punter.
People forget.
2021, Fordham.
Denzel Washington University.
52-7. 22, North Dakota. 38-17. It's bad.
It's bad.
24, Northern Iowa. 34-3.
Panic.
I wouldn't say panic after last year, but there were some people like, what? I don't know. It was a little bit too much of a struggle for my liking.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it'll be the same tomorrow, or maybe it'll be closer to that Idaho State game. I think in that Idaho State game, I think whoever their lead back was, I guess it would have been Amir or Rex. Or no, Rex's last year would have been 11, right? It was like 10 carries for like 150 yards or something like that. It was like the easiest, thing that anyone's ever seen. That was probably the worst team that Nebraska's played. Potentially up until last week, even though that was an FBS game. I don't expect Nebraska to win 68-0 tomorrow, but that's just because I don't expect anybody to win any game 68-0. Sure. And then on Houston Christian, just started fielding a football program for the first time in 2013. So they had a couple exploratory years. What do we do here? How's it going to go? Their marquee win in their program's history was beating South Dakota in the Dakota Dome in 2019. They won it was 52-51 or something like that. Crazy game. Got ranked after that for the first time in school history in the FCS, but they've never had a winning season. Never had a winning season, but it is viewed as a program that is sort of on the rise a little bit in the FCS. And fun fact, that was where Houston Baptist, that is where Bailey Zappi played his first 4 years of college ball before transferring to Western Kentucky and breaking all those records. After that, Bailey Zappi, the greatest player in Houston Christian football history.
And the greatest player in New England Patriots history.
Some are saying.
He's an active quarterback with the Cleveland Browns?
I don't know. I saw that on his Wikipedia page last night, too.
I don't think that's right.
I don't think he's active in the sense that he's still playing football. It's got to be a practice squad. I don't know if he's eligible for the practice squad or whatever it is, but he's not. I don't think he's rostered. Is he? Because they got
he's
Shador.
On the practice squad.
Yeah, they got Shador and Dylan Gabriel and Mr. Flacco. So there's your history lesson. Did you have fun? You want to click on some more articles from 1992?
I did. I'd like to see the butt diagram.
Somebody come up with the paper from the World Herald that had the 18-inch that had the 18-inch ruler. It was great. How about this? Blue Raiders second half called, quote, sickening. It's from Eric Olson in the World Herald at the time. Middle Tennessee State coach James Boots Donnelly said he loved what he saw in the first half of Saturday's game against Nebraska and hated what he saw in the second. Quote, it could have been a great experience. We should have played a lot harder and a lot better. The last half was a sickening experience. Mid-Tennessee State was number 5 in the 1AA poll going into that week, but of course Nebraska dominated them in the second half.
And they beat Miami 2 or 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, later on they would beat Miami. They've had some wins out in Murfreesboro, the middle of Tennessee. Donnelly, the coach, in the first half, we played as hard as we could play. Nebraska came out the second half like a typical Nebraska team with a great deal of pride. We backed off and did nothing.
I'm going to tell you straight up. We weren't doing anything out there.
I don't think my players are mature enough to understand Nebraska's guys have a lot of tradition and weren't satisfied with the first half. Maybe we're not very good as far as playing a full game. Maybe we could play a quarter or two, but we can't sustain anything. My boy was telling it how it is.
I like that. Yeah. Like cut of his jib.
He was not following the narratives of Nebraska's better than us and one of the best teams in the country. No. We're one of the best teams in the country. We're number 5 in the 1AA poll. Doc writes in.
What's up, Doc?
So you're telling me Rule scheduled the worst FCS opponent possible? No, I don't think he scheduled the worst FCS opponent possible.
No.
I think they scheduled an FCS opponent. And I don't even know if this game, I forget about the origin story of this game. I don't know when this game came to be. I don't know when this got put on the schedule. I feel like it was more recent. Yeah. But yeah, they're playing an FCS team. And as much as I enjoy the success of programs like South Dakota State and North Dakota State and South Dakota and North Dakota, or whatever, as much as I love the success of those programs and I want them to be good, I don't really need them to be playing Nebraska. There's just more to play for.
Yeah.
For those guys. Like, if you are going to schedule an FCS team, please don't schedule an FCS team that you could lose to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
we're not about giving opportunities to teams.
Because there's nothing to gain.
Right.
There's nothing to gain from that for Nebraska. If they beat North Dakota State, okay, cool. You beat North Dakota State, an FCS team. Is that really, Colorado got taken to the wire by them last year. They beat K-State over the years and stuff like that. Just not interested.
Nope.
Not interested. So if you're going to schedule FCS, schedule Houston Christian. I'm sure they appreciate the money that they'll be getting to help ruin that CVS and build their nice new athletic facility whenever they do that.
Mr. Gorba Bob, tear down this CVS.
Bill says,
hi, Bill.
I remember the Omaha World Herald headline after that Maine game was 1 and uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly inspiring. Wasn't exactly inspiring that day. No. Doc follows up. He says they put the game on the schedule because the stadium was apparently supposed to be torn down at this point, so they needed an extra home game. So then they scheduled this team. I guess that starts to that rings a bell, but they needed a game here anyway, right? I don't know why it had to be Houston Christian. They needed a game here anyway. All right, let's take a break here. We can get to our keys to the game up on the other side, but before we do that, how about an opportunity for you all to get into the Bussin' with the Boys show next Friday? Anybody interested? By judging by our phones over the last couple of days and the way they light up right away, I think there is some interest. So
now this will not be a show in a bus.
No, it'll be in a theater.
A gorgeous theater.
And who knows? They might have some camera shots. You might be on the next Bussin' with the Boys podcast.
And you could sit down and Leo it. Just, there I am.
You could do the thing that Will Compton does, this thing right here.
Yeah.
You could take a picture with them, baby. I don't know. And do this. Do the flex thing. That's a good bit.
He'd love that.
So next Friday, September 19th at the Rococo, you could buy your way into the show, or you could call and be caller number 4 right now at 402-951-1620. Caller number 4 right now has 2 tickets into the Bussin' with the Boys live show next Friday prior to the Michigan game at the Rococo in Lincoln. You could find more details, by the way, at 1620thezone.com, but we have your way in right now. Caller number 4, 402-951-1620, gets into Bussin' with the Boys. Good luck, and we'll have our keys coming up on the other side on 1620 The Zone. Don't forget Big Red Overreaction right after the game. Nebraska
BROR.
Yeah. We're looking at a 2:30-ish start time for that one on Saturday afternoon. Remember, it's both on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg. John and Matt have you this week. It's brought to you by Equitable Bank, No Name Nutrition, J. Stinnett Contracting, Dingman's Collision Center Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, and Peerless Energy Systems. One day I'll do that show, Josh. One day.
Allegedly. That's what they say.
We've moved to dodgeball on TNT. And
what are the boys up to? Probably flailing about their mediocre gym.
Well, Peter LaFleur is sleeping on his couch right now. We're just
Okay,
at the very,
sure.
very start. We got a commercial from White Goodman about Globo Gym. We're just kind of laying the seeds out there now. Plattcat had a good take, though, about or just I don't know. You decide if it's a good take about the end of School of Rock. Says giving a second place band an encore might have been the most unrealistic part of this whole movie. No Vacancy got hosed. The No Vacancy song that they did kind of, I always thought that they were just like the stand-in for like Creed, basically. They were kind of Creed-ish, No Vacancy. But their song rocked. But people go for the story.
Sad.
People go for the story.
Did you see
No Vacancy won, but the School of Rock, they won the hearts of many.
They got Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson together for a Xfinity cable commercial?
No. Is it a dodgeball related situation?
No, it's just, hey, we've been in like 11 movies together. We're friends. We're going to sit down and watch football together.
Okay.
Because we're Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn.
I'm into that commercial.
Yeah.
Once again, give me the actors, give me the A or B list actors and put them in stuff and
Exactly.
see what happens. All right. Our keys to the game, Josh. I
show up.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. I don't have much here. This is in the stuff that you want to see kind of category. So I have 3 things written down. We usually do our 3 keys. Here they are. More sacks, more turnovers, and more touchdowns.
More touchdowns?
Yes. Not necessarily more touchdowns than last week, but more touchdowns than they let a couple drives go on the 1-yard line last week.
Oh, okay.
So more touchdowns.
Sure.
That's that one a little bit. First 3 drives of last week, touchdown, fumble, turnover on downs. Unacceptable. When I update my drive chart this week, I want to see that the drive started where it started and it ended at the 100-yard line. The goal line, Josh. I guess field goals are probably okay too, but you'd rather probably punch it in against this Houston Christian defense.
Yeah, you want to finish.
But if there was one thing that people didn't, that people weren't fans of last week in the Akron game, it was just that part. It was not. And that had been a talking point coming off of the previous week. And it has been a talking point through, starting last year as well. So, when you get the opportunity, when you cross the 40-yard line, and especially when you get into the red zone, and especially when you get into that low red zone, got to get points. So that's where the more touchdowns comes from. More sacks is pretty self-explanatory. It is a bit bothersome to me that Nebraska only has 2 sacks.
The
whole thing here is Nebraska's defense is going to be what we thought before the year is Nebraska's defense is supposed to be more explosive, right? You get how you show that you're more explosive, sacks and turnovers. Explosive plays on the defensive side. 5 combined through the first 2 weeks. And one of the games you won 68-0.
Yeah.
So
they're playing very well, but
their stop rate is good. They're functionally really good.
This is the time where you want to kind of pad.
I mean, what does Rule
right?
always say? 40 sacks is 10 wins. Yeah. I mean, they're not going to get close to 40 sacks at this rate, right? So you want to turn up that heat a little bit. I understand the 2 teams that you've played over the first 2 weeks of the season here haven't been the right type of teams in terms of what they're going to do to accumulate those numbers in a big way. But you get a couple turnovers in the Cincinnati game, and you got one fumble recovery later, or when the game was already way out of hand in the Akron game. Just you want to see that progression, and you want to see it in actual numbers. You want to see it functionally actually show up during games. Other than that, I mean, obviously Nebraska's going to win. They'll be fine, and you could the story immediately once that game ends starts being the Michigan game, and if not, it already is, as you could tell by Michigan Week Part 1, which we've been calling this week. But that doesn't mean you can't have things during the game where people say, "Ooh, that wasn't right," especially given the quality of competition. So I don't know that you can make people feel a whole lot better this week outside of another, Akron shellacking, but you can certainly feel worse coming out of this, even though you're going to walk out of the stadium with a win and enjoy the rest of your weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Maybe you'll go to Vala's Pumpkin Patch.
Oh, that'd be great.
On your way back. That thing is going to be loaded on Saturday. It's going to be, it'll be fired up in there on Saturday. More sacks, more turnovers, more touchdowns.
More. It's the Adam Driver gift. More.
And more. Yes, that would be my advice to Nebraska in this game. Keep people feeling the way that they're feeling right now. And I'm not just talking about the fan base. I'm talking about the players inside the locker room.
Sure.
As well. Like, so when the opportunity presents itself, which it will early in the game, to be able to stomp them out and make a play, take advantage of the plays that are out there for you. They ran Houston Christian. They ran all over Arkansas Baptist, I think it was. I mean, and I think from what it seems like, their defense is pretty solid. Matt Rule called out number 6 yesterday on their defensive side.
Total football guy move.
He's like 6. I think he's a good player. He's as good as player as you're going to see. Remember the UTEP guy from last year? Gosh, I forget his name, but their defensive end. He's a pretty good player. He ended up going in the transfer portal this offseason and made a lateral move somewhere, but they were like, "Oh yeah, we're really worried about this guy." So they'll be okay.
They're saying all the right things.
Yeah, they'll be okay. You got 1 or 2 guys that you have to worry about. It seems like their defense is pretty decent. They're in the right spots, so at least Nebraska will get a challenge from that regard. They have to win the battles. It's Akron. They didn't have to win much because they were just so discombobulated. They were just so out of position. They were just such a bad football team. This game might give you a better challenge just in terms of the guy is where he's supposed to be. Beat him. There's not just wide receivers flying open down the field.
Blow him up.
Give credit to Dylan because he made all those throws and kept everything on track last week offensively. But yeah, I think when the opportunities present themselves to make plays, it'd be nice to see Nebraska make plays. Another, just a quick mention here, because we didn't make mention of 9/11 yesterday. Rule in his press conference yesterday, he talked, because he's a New Yorker, he talked quite a bit about, what do I always say about 9/11? I say, you have to go to the museum.
Yes, you do say that.
When I said, what do I always say about 9/11? Josh said, where are we going here? What are we doing?
I didn't know.
So Rule had a thing yesterday that I completely, this is not a key to the game in any way. It's just a thing that Rule said. The 9/11 memorial, when you go in there, like the phone calls, they're sort of like haunting, They play the phone calls to the families, like they have all these recordings of the phone calls. And so there was, when I went there was a guy that my dad grew up with, and I told him that we were going to the museum. We were in New York, and he was like, look for information on this guy. And it just so happened when we walked into that area, his phone call came over his family's phone call came over the PA in there. I'm like, whoa, this is like seriously a special thing. So, Rule, he went on for about 5 minutes yesterday about all that stuff, and he's always good with that type of thing as well. So I wanted to make mention of that because that really resonated with me. He's a New Yorker,
He really is.
He truly is a New Yorker. He talks like a New Yorker sometimes as well. Okay, those are our keys to the game. Chance is freaking out in the chat right now. He's like, what's going on?
What's happening
on this show? What is going on? All right, we'll round up the hour. A couple things to get to next, including Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Josh has many takes, he says. Or no, I believe it was, I have some things to say.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And a look ahead at a volleyball weekend as well.
Terraflex.
1:00, Steve Sipple is scheduled to join the show. But I'm just warning you, if Sipple doesn't join the show, we're going to have to talk about the top 25 college basketball programs over the last 25 years. So,
or
a lot of pressure.
Or illegally disseminate dodgeball.
But legally, I think.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
You made me do this. This is on you, producer Josh.
The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Cross Strain Brewing Company, the official sponsor of One Beer Friday on 1620 The Zone, where beer is Nebraska fresh, never boring, and always evolving. Find them at the original location in La Vista, at their DraftWorks location downtown, or at crossstrainbrewing.com.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Remember, Husker fans who are going to the game on Saturday, the temperature will be up. So Nebraska Athletics will make an exception to the food and beverage policy. Each fan will be allowed to bring in one sealed bottle of water into Memorial Stadium. As always, Memorial Stadium's policy allows personal empty water bottles inside the stadium for fans to be able to refill at the water fountains inside. But this week, you'll be able to bring a full one, sealed. Fans, of course, are reminded to drink responsibly and have a plan in place to stay hydrated.
It's important to have a plan.
Do they still have the water fountains? You know, like the football practice where they have a hose hooked up to a little thing and then they cut a bunch of holes in it.
Oh,
they used to have that on the aprons behind the fence at Memorial Stadium. Somebody will have to reach out. I don't know if
There's
have
no
those
way.
anymore.
COVID killed those.
Good point. I would think so. And I was kind of sitting by there last week for the last several minutes of the game. They're really moving people through there. Like they
oh yeah.
You can't just lean up against that fence and stand behind the sideline and watch the game. I don't know if you were ever truly able to, but they're like, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Because Harper Murray was walking by and everyone wanted to stop and take pictures with him. They didn't want to create like a scene.
Sure.
Maybe that was part of it too. So yes, stay hydrated on Saturday.
It's important.
John emails in.
Hi, John.
If Sipple doesn't come on, I vote for a segment of dead air.
Whoa.
Well, he doesn't want to do the basketball topic.
Oh, okay. I mean, we could talk dodgeball. They just got an idea.
We could. They are talking Pirate Steve the Pirate's in there right now. Car wash is their idea. I don't remember this movie I remember it well, but I don't remember it as well as School of Rock.
Same. I like it. It's very good, but I don't remember it like I do other movies.
Travis says, let's get the Houston Christian Inquisition rocking. It is the Houston Christian Inquisition. John Bishop will have a stat for you a little bit later on.
Whoa, what a tease.
He barged in the studio and said, I've got it. I've got the answer. He's got a great stat coming up later on in the afternoon, so stay tuned for our Sportsplay Conduct.
God.
You know who loves stats? Michael Severe. He will listen to this stat and he will say, wow, that's amazing.
That's a good stat, John.
That's amazing. Here's 40 other stats. Let me tweet them all out. Chris writes in on the Twitter.
Hi, Chris.
If Sipple doesn't answer, then we demand the Caitlin Clark thing. I just don't know if we'll have time.
A jam-packed show.
I just don't know if we'll have time. All right, Josh, I've been awaiting your takes on Crawford Canelo. Ever since you said, I have something to say about this, I have been waiting with bated breath to find out what exactly that is.
So I don't mean this disparagingly towards Bud Crawford, but Bud Crawford's fought a lot of tomato cans over the course of his career. He now has the marquee fight. And I always thought when we got to this point that I'd be terrified, like, oh, he's going to have that undefeated record and he's going to go up against a fighter of equal value. And, oh, what's going to happen? What if he loses? What if he loses? I actually don't feel that way at all. I'm very proud that he's gotten to this point and has this opportunity.
Okay, but what if he does lose? There will be something that we've never experienced literally around here.
Yeah. I'd still be very proud of him. I mean, unless it's like,
of course, I'd be very proud of him.
12 seconds into the fight, you got knocked out. Like that would suck. But
yeah,
anything else is like, okay.
He's gotten to this point.
Good job. Still our guy.
The right to, to do this now. But we have never had to confront the reality of him losing a fight.
I have not.
I don't know what that would look like.
I don't know what my reaction would be. I'd like to think Saturday night it would be, you know what? You still showed him. Good job.
Crawford plus 142.
It keeps going down. I need to get to Iowa.
Can
we end the show early? I'm
Sure.
losing money.
Well, if Sipple doesn't answer, maybe that'll just be it. Plus 142. That's on FanDuel. There's some other people in the chat who are saying it's up to, it's got him at 155.
Okay.
It
It was hovering around that number earlier this week.
Okay. Here's my take.
Okay.
Go, Bud, go.
Great take.
I have no technical expertise in boxing, and I am not afraid to admit it. I know how Bud fights. I have no idea what Canelo Alvarez does. Other than I've actually heard that name, so that must mean he's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
good take.
I think he, I think that he will just punch and punch until they tell him to stop.
Well, it's really all you can do.
Punch. But you can move and
but
duck,
you can't like kick
dip,
or
duck, dodge, dive, and duck. You can do all those things. In dodgeball, you can't punch.
That's true.
In boxing, you should punch. There's
Great
my take
take.
on boxing, Josh. Go, Bud, go.
Who needs a boxing analyst on the show this week? Not us.
Like some people,
we got it covered.
Some people will talk about the fight. And they'll be like, "Yeah, I think he's got to do this by this point, and he's got to really got in there." I'm sure that they're all right about those things.
Yeah.
I just don't. I can't lie to you. I'm
And he
incapable of lying. I won't lie. I'm like liar, liar. The color of the pen that I hold in my hand is royal blue. That's me right now with boxing. I can't lie to you. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I like when Bud fights. I watch it, and I think it's likely that if Bud Crawford wins, that he'll probably win by a decision. I think it's probably pretty likely that this fight goes the distance.
That's
right?
why I need to get to Iowa. So I can bet on that exact thing happening at a good rate.
Sportsbook correspondent Platcat. I
Hi,
got
Platcat.
155 on Circa yesterday, down to 147, I guess, there now. Gonna want to hop in at the right price.
Yep.
Gotta want to hop in at the right price. Got a volleyball weekend coming up. Nebraska's hosting a tournament this weekend with tomato cans. Utah, I guess who's ranked.
Yeah.
Creighton is hosting Louisville tonight. Creighton volleyball fully loaded. New court, powder blue jerseys, allegedly. The top 10 team coming to town.
Ooh.
It's going to be a nice late night in DJ So Cold Arena.
Oh, I see what you did there.
It's literally so cold in there until people show up, and then it gets warm in a hurry.
Hot.
Yeah. So that's where I'll be tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Rice, Northern Iowa, and Louisville.
A whole weekend.
A whole weekend spent in the DJ So Cold Arena.
Hyping them people up.
Tonight'll be easy. This is what I always tell people. Like it's very easy when you already have an engaged and a crowd who wants to be there. It's very easy to say, "Let's go," and they all say, "Let's go." Maybe they'll all be watching the Bud fight on their phones. No, but that's tomorrow. So I don't think it'll be fun.
Everybody just wants you to get right.
I take out my phone. I show the camera. Check it out. Round 3.
That's Canelo Alvarez's bare ass on the TV.
Go, Bud, go.
Go, Bud, go.
That's my boxing take. Sipple knows about boxing.
He does.
He's of boxing. We'll see if he picks up the phone when we call him. Coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Steve Sipple,
The conversation gets even more uncomfortable, okay?
Omaha. Steve Sipple on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Oh, yes. Consider yourselves all saved from a college basketball topic. Steve Sipple is with us, and he joins us on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Sip, good afternoon. What's up?
Well, I apologize for my unreliability. It's almost just related to the show I do for my full-time job. But what is the basketball topic?
Well, I said if you didn't answer, I threatened people, and I said if you didn't answer the phone, that we'd have to deploy a backup topic, which was a CBS Sports article about the top 25 college basketball programs of the last 25 years.
Good God, Connor.
What's wrong? You don't like my topics?
No, your topics are fine. How is everything?
I'm just, everybody's really happy that you answered the phone. Let's just say that.
Oh, God. I don't know if you're being
I'm not.
Whatever. It's hard to tell in this world anymore, but just glad to be with you. I'll say that.
So, by the way, do we need to move around? Is 1 o'clock still good for you during football season? Do we need to move around again?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what was. God, no, we're fine.
Okay.
I just gotta do a little better job of being organized. But no, we're good. We're good.
All right.
Let's keep it at 1. Keep it 1.
Are you excited about Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez tomorrow?
Canelo Alvarez, yes, I am excited.
Whoa, why just Canelo Alvarez? You're not excited about Bud?
I know, I'm definitely excited about both of them.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I will tell you. Yesterday I was predicting a Bud win, and now I'm predicting, as I've looked at it more closely, and I've looked at the fight pretty closely in the last 48 hours, I'm trending more towards Bud knocking him out.
Whoa!
Yeah,
let's go. All right, so you know ball. I don't know what's what in boxing. My analysis was, punch and punch and punch. We just did that right before you came on the show here. So what makes you trend toward a Bud knockout?
Some of it is this. Canelo you'll get mixed report, you'll get mixed feelings on this, but I don't think Canelo's fought anybody in the last 6 fights. These guys that he's fought aren't great. Some of them are really bad. Shouldn't even have been probably in the ring with Canelo. And I think this could be a bit of a shock to his system. Bud is, there's sometimes this weight thing moving up is very much a problem. I mean, when I was a kid when I fought, but if you moved up 5 pounds, it was a big deal. He started as a 135 pounder. Now he's 168, but his walking around weight is not that much different than 168. What I'm telling you is I don't think that's going to be a big problem. I think Bud is more powerful at this stage of his life. Some of it's just a gut feel too. I really am confident that Crawford will win. I'll be very surprised. I will be. I know it sounds a little odd because Canelo's the favorite, but I'll be surprised if Bud doesn't win. And now I'm trending toward, I think he'll take him out in late rounds, like round 9, round 10.
Okay, so we were just talking about this idea. We have never had to confront any emotions after a fight that Bud Crawford has lost, because it's never that's just never happened before. I don't know. Obviously you are not thinking that you're going to have to deal with that on Saturday night into Sunday either. But I was curious because I've never really thought about the idea that he could lose. It's always seemed invincible to me.
I think it will become evident early in the fight who has more punching power. And I think it'll be odd because he's the small Bud is the smaller fighter. But I don't know. And some of it's just sizing up the guys. I think Bud's going to be really hard to deal with. And then when he wins, he will wear the unofficial crown of the best pound for pound fighter in the world. Because you would have to give it to him at that point. He has more to game too. It's another, you've heard John Cook always talk about the why. What's the why? Well, Crawford's why is much stronger than Canelo's. Canelo, it was sort of shocking that Canelo even took this fight, but he just doesn't have nearly as much to gain as Bud. Bud has a ton to gain here. So yeah, I feel really good about it.
There's some people in our chat right now saying you could if you wanted to put your money where your mouth is, you could win a significant amount of jelly beans if you went and said, hey, I think Bud's going to knock him out. You could potentially monetarily benefit from this.
Yeah, it's tempting. It's tempting.
It's tempting.
Very tempting.
Okay. All right. So you wrote about this in your Tunnel Talk today. And it's say it again.
You read Tunnel Talk.
I read Tunnel Talk every week. I read all the stuff that you write, Sipple.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that about your station. That you guys do that. And I do. I appreciate that you.
Well, yeah, the Scrolls. Did you see the Scrolls got a shout out on Bussin' with the Boys?
I didn't. I need to pay closer attention. No, I didn't. Good for them. What'd they say?
They were talking. I can't remember who they had on the show, but they were talking about how it was a former player or something like that, and all the message boards would sort of, and so they said, every school has the message board that everyone goes to, where all the, it maybe could get toxic at times, or people just kind of flock to there. And Will Compton just instinctively shouted out Red Sea Scrolls.
Oh, good for Will. Thank you, Will.
So he's patrolling. He's on there. But you wrote about Dylan Raiola a little bit. It's been a talking point over the last 2 weeks. His stats are really checking out. The coaching staff seems to, really, really think that he's doing a nice job so far, and that's regardless of competition. He's just checking all those boxes. How well is Dylan Raiola playing, maybe compared to some of his contemporaries around him in college football right now, from your eyes?
It's a hard discussion. Well, not that hard though, because he played well against Cincinnati. The reason I said it's a hard discussion is because there wasn't much, there just wasn't much pushback against Akron. He just, it was pitch and catch. Now here's the danger. And I've felt this way for the last few months. I think there's a danger in taking him for granted a little bit, because he makes it look pretty easy. He'll make it look easy tomorrow. I will say this. I was glad that Rule said what he did on McAfee's show. I'm glad that he feels like I'm glad that Rule said he feels like Dylan's a little underappreciated, and that he's one of the best players, the best college football players in America. I think that's jumping the gun. I will say that. But I think if you're a Nebraska fan, you want to hear that from Rule, because it tells you that Dylan is operating at a super high level in practice. And Rule would never say something like that if that weren't the case. What I think Rule's kind of doing, he is jumping the gun, but I think he's just out front in the conversation because he has the benefit of seeing him all the time, which we don't, right? We don't see what he's doing in practice. I hear it. I hear what he's doing, and it's remarkable in some ways what I hear. I think that what he does at the line of scrimmage is remarkable. I think it's remarkable to hear a coach say, we give him more freedom at the line of scrimmage than probably any quarterback in America. That means a lot, because it's an advantage. It gives Nebraska a pretty marked advantage over most teams, not all teams, but most teams. So his quarterback acumen is excellent, and I think he is headed for big things. But I notice I said I think he's got to do it, and it'll start not this week.
Right.
You got to start seeing it next week, and then against Michigan State, and so on. But I have obviously people have picked up on. I have a high level of confidence in Dylan Raiola, and I have a high regard for Dylan Raiola. I think he's a great kid.
You mentioned, and yeah, you've been on this, for all summer leading into the season. Just your lack of, like, there's no hesitation when you're like, yeah, I trust him, and in those positions. You mentioned the hesitancy or the sometimes Nebraska fans might take him for granted a little bit. Why do you think that is? Like, because I sense sometimes that there is a hesitancy to like jump fully on board from this fan base to say, yes, I want to propel this guy upwards and say, I'm behind him. He is one of the best players in America. That hasn't happened yet. And maybe to your point, that doesn't happen until after next week if everything checks out. But do you sense that at all with him and in this fan base? And I guess, how do you sort of see that at this moment?
Yeah, I do sense it, but I understand. I mean, I think, hey, Connor, I don't think you got to overthink that one. I don't have to overthink that one. I think it's simply he has to do it against strong competition. And it's also people are mindful of last season when Dylan did struggle. There was struggle in the last 8 games. Now, I thought he came on really well. He played really well against Wisconsin. And then, there's some disappointment against Iowa that wasn't all on him, obviously. There was one drop pass that, the guy catches it, probably win the damn game. So, I think that then he played well in the bowl, and I think he took a lot of momentum into the off season. And what I emphasize about Dylan, and the reason I'm so team Dylan, is because I appreciate people that are reliable. I like low maintenance people, and he is incredibly low maintenance. They don't have to go find Dylan. I mean, Dylan's going to be the first one there. There's nobody that will outwork him on the team. Nobody. I think coaches would struggle to outwork Dylan. He prepares himself. He doesn't need anybody to tell him to prepare. He doesn't need anybody to tell him to do anything. He's a rare case. And if the worst thing I can say is, if he doesn't succeed, it won't be because of lack of preparation and lack of effort. That's as bad. But what I think is going to happen is you're going to start to see it pay off at a super high level. And I think we already saw it. He played pitch and catch against Akron at a level we haven't seen around here since. Now you're going to say Zach Taylor. I'm going to go Ferragamo home. He makes it look really easy, and we haven't seen. I don't think people are used to seeing it. So now you got to keep seeing it. But I think you will.
The things that I hear from people are like, the critiques of him is that he doesn't run, which I like. Maybe our brains are just trained wrong. I mean, Nebraska has had most of their quarterbacks over this long period of time, like multiple decades now, have been running threats, dual threats. They were the central focal point of the offense. And as good as Dylan is, I don't know who you would say the central focal point of the offense. He's the best player on the offense, but it's like that was never going to be his game to go out and make plays with, all the time with his legs. I always hear that from people. I'm like, what did you expect? I mean, this guy was always going to be a thrower.
No, that's true. But Connor, it's valid. I don't regard it as a criticism, because it's like criticizing you for not being 6'5". Like you can't really. I mean, Dylan's he's not a runner. He can. I mean, he's all right. I think you'll see it a little bit more. But he's not like his brother. His brother's a good runner and faster and a little more willing. I get that part. Now I got to tell you, like, if I had my preference, I want a quarterback that can run it. I mean, that's I get that part of the discussion. I don't regard it as a criticism. And I think Dylan A is a pretty good athlete, so he can escape and get some things done. So it's not that big of a deal in my mind. But a lot of the other things he does outweighs that in my mind too. I mean,
agreed.
He's so good in the other areas that it doesn't really bother me. But like when I turn on games though, I like to see a Tommy Castellanos bolting up field like a running back. Now he he can't throw it like Dylan. A lot of those guys can't throw it like Dylan. Ideally, now what if Dylan could run like Vince Young? Okay, now then what would we be talking about then? One of the all-time freaks of the game, because Dylan is, his arm talent, I guess is what you call it, is through the roof good. Like he's elite in the arm talent category.
Through 2 games, how much of an upgrade does he have at receiver from your eyes?
Looks pretty good. I don't go overboard in that discussion, but the top 3 are, I think that, I guess where it got interesting for me is Hunter's pretty close to key, in my opinion, at least through 2 games.
Yep.
And then Jacory's better. Jacory Barney looks better to me as a receiver. It's very defined right now who the top 3 are. I'd like to see the gap close a little between 3 and 4. But those top 3 guys are good, and I love the potential of Quinn Clark and Keelan Smith. It seems like those guys have nudged ahead of Cortez Mills. Not surprising to me because they've been in the program longer, and come on, Connor, what am I going to say? I say it all the time. What do I want? I want physical, big body receivers, and that's what I think. Quinn Clark. God, I hope I'm right. I think he'll emerge as a star. I just can't see why he wouldn't. He's got all the tools.
Yeah, I'll have a couple more opportunities, very likely tomorrow afternoon. So you'll maybe get to see a couple more of those receivers down the line. Simple, before we let you go, the audience wants me to ask, have you ever seen the movie School of Rock?
I've not. Why would I? That'd be my question.
It's a great movie. That's why.
School of Rock?
Yeah, School of Rock, starring Jack Black.
Oh, School of Rock.
Not Stool of Rock.
I thought you said Spool. Spool.
School of Rock. No, School. School of Rock.
I thought take off on School of Rock. I didn't know what you're getting at here, but School of Rock. School of Rock. No, I've heard it, but no, I have not seen it.
Okay. Have you ever seen Dodgeball?
In snippets.
Okay.
I've felt like I've seen a lot of it, but not. I have trouble sitting down and watching comedies. That's going to turn off a lot of people, but at this point, what the hell? I have a hard time committing myself to 2 hours of this sort of nothingness.
So you're a huge Vince Vaughn guy, right?
I would not say you.
No, you've remarked before how you like Vince Vaughn movies.
I thought he played a good role in that True Detective.
There you go. Oh yeah, you're a huge True Detective fan.
I thought he was pretty good. It was sort of a horrifying series. They tried a few series after the original True Detective 1 with Woody and McConaughey, Harrelson and McConaughey. And that one I watched. I bet I've watched that series 12 times. The True Detective 1, no exaggeration. Then they came with a few more True Detectives with different characters, and the one with Vince Vaughn was all right.
Okay.
He was good.
Not as good as McConaughey. Oh, you love Woody Harrelson. Yeah.
Not as good as McConaughey Harrelson. No, it was sort of sad in that regard. But the True Detective 1 would never be matched. And I didn't think there would be any series that would ever match it. And then Ozark came along and was probably about as good as it. But the True Detective 1, I would regard as incredible. I don't even know I wouldn't even know what class. It was just, I don't know what to make of people who are that talented that can write that well and make you draw you in like that. I just don't know where that kind of talent evolves.
It was pretty great. I probably am due for a rewatch on that. Remember how that whole thing went with what was it? The Yellow King? That whole thing.
Good job, Connor.
Yeah.
Good job. And those car scenes with McConaughey and Harrelson You can't.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to.
They're smoking cigarettes the entire time.
Yeah, a lot of it. And the McConaughey character that goes, McConaughey. I mean, if people don't understand, just watch it. And McConaughey always has that sort of lighthearted approach, and he's in some funny movies, blah blah blah. But then watch that character and that show evolve in the darkness. Like it's the way he evolves into the late stages of that is remarkable that he can do that. Like that he can become that character, and that character was, beyond memorable. I mean, I don't know how he did it.
I imagine it's pretty memorable considering you've watched it 12 times.
Well, what happens in those sorts of those it's a very, I think you'd agree, it's pretty complex.
It is.
And you miss a lot of lines. Unless you're just sitting glued to it, you're going to miss some really good lines and some innuendo that you have to watch over a period. Yeah, I watched more than one. So, and it was a complex storyline too.
Oh, I got to go back and watch then. All right, Sip. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Connor. See you later.
Steve Sipple, Roger Ebert, Spool of Rock coming to TNT next week.
Now I got to sit down and watch season 1 of True Detective.
He does. He loves Woody Harrelson.
It's great.
He loves Woody Harrelson, and he loves when dudes constantly rip cigs. In movies. That's the famous, the famous GIF of McConaughey, just really, really sucking in on the cigarette. Yeah. I didn't watch the Vince Vaughn season.
He's correct in his assessment. It was fine.
But I am excited for Spool of Rock. I wonder what that would be about. I don't know.
He goes to an old folks home and teaches them how to crochet or something. Or they teach him how to crochet.
Yeah, just give it another 20 years. Jack Black will reprise his role as Ed Schneebly. Or Dewey Finn, I believe, was his actual character name in that movie.
All
right, we are diving, ducking, dodging, and diving across the road in dodgeball right now. So that's your update there. We'll have our picks coming up on the other side. Also, why don't we do this before we take a break as well? We'll squeeze in the picks, but also Val's Pumpkin Patch tickets. Would you like to go? They have so many things going on at Val's Pumpkin Patch. There's always new stuff. But of course, for my taste, you could always go the easy way or the squeezy way. And you always go the squeezy way. You could sit in the big chair. Would you like to go to Val's? Call right now. Be caller number 3 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, 402-951-1620. We got a couple passes for you. Caller number 3 will win anytime passes to Vala's Pumpkin Patch to use this season. Once again, 951-1620. Caller number 3 wins. We'll be back with the picks after this. right, here we go. Picks for the weekend. I had a 2-4 week last week, Josh. So just like that, I'm an idiot. But I still have the lead on you by a game.
Damn it.
I'm 6-6. Josh is 5-7. This is normally how it goes. We're both exactly perfectly average, unless you're Josh 2 years ago, and for some reason you're the greatest gambler on planet Earth.
That's right.
When you're hot, you're hot. Also, stay tuned for Josh's Will Compton Hype Speech coming up in just a moment.
How could you possibly get the people hyped for Houston Christian?
Well,
I
you're
found a
about to
way.
find out. Number 12, Clemson is a 3.5-point favorite at Georgia Tech tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. on ESPN. Josh, you won last week with a sparkling 3-3 record. You go first.
Clemson's offense has been shaky. I believe they win, but do not cover that very small margin.
Yeah, I actually think that Georgia Tech is going to win. So I hate to be on the same side as you. I'm just a Clemson hater. I'm just a Clemson non-believer.
I normally am, but I was pretty high on. I kind of bought into the Cade Klubnik hype.
Me and all my homies hate Clemson, and we do not care about Cade Klubnik. So that's what we're rolling with. We're rolling with Haynes King and them boys down there at Georgia Tech, the Ramblin' Wreck. Gonna get the job done. A lovely little neighborhood stadium just off of downtown Atlanta.
Beautiful.
Number 6, Georgia is a 4.5-point favorite at number 15, Tennessee, 2:30 on ABC. This is your game of the week for all intents and purposes in college football. So I hate the thing where I don't really love the look of either team.
Yeah.
But
what do you do?
I just because I actually love betting against both of these teams routinely.
Ooh.
But I will take Georgia here. 4.5 is a little scary to me because I do think the game will likely be very competitive. But I'll take Georgia in the very first Gunner Stockton showcase.
Ooh.
Give me the Dogs.
Georgia always does this. They play the non-conference teams and look like crap. Tennessee always does this. They play the non-conference
and look
schedule
awesome.
and look awesome.
Yeah.
And then they play each other and somehow Georgia wins. Give me Georgia here.
Okay. This is the biggest game in the history of the CW.
That's correct.
Number 18, South Florida visits number 5, Miami, who's a 17.5-point favorite. 3:30 on, once again, the CW. It was all worth it just to finally get a ranked, unranked game in the non-con.
I just looked it up. Obviously, this is the Tom Brenneman game this week.
Oh my God. Tom Brenneman is going to be back this week.
Yeah, he does games for the CW.
No, but like he's been back, but you're going to hear about Tom Brenneman this week.
People are going to discover that he's working again probably this weekend. Yeah, you're right.
Wow. 17.5.
That's I hate to buy into the hype.
You don't have to buy into the hype just because you're taking Miami, because it seems like you are, right?
No, I was going to take South Florida and hate that I was buying into the hype here.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to take South Florida. Miami wins the game.
It's a lot of points. I will say it's a lot of points. I will say that. And obviously South Florida will be motivated. But when you get a team who's in state and they have the number right next to them, I think your side probably is motivated as well. With that being said, like it is a lot of points, but I am more leaning toward Florida stinks, right? South Florida got them.
Yeah.
But who did they get, right? And so they get that ranking.
They got him because Florida spit on that guy.
Right. But Florida was ranked at the time, right?
Yeah.
So that's why they moved into the polls. So I guess I'm going value here, and then it could have been more than 3 touchdowns had that not happened. So give me Miami.
Okay.
I hate it, but give me Miami. I hate everything I've done so far.
Same.
Actually, except for Georgia Tech. I like that a lot. Speaking of Florida, their bounce back game will be in Death Valley. The purple one against number 3 LSU, who's a 7.5-point favorite, 6:30 ABC. This is your SEC night game. You know, this is the Herb Street and Fowler situation. I'm first.
I believe you are, yes.
Florida sucks. LSU. Very simple for me.
Death Valley at night.
Mm-hmm.
Go Tigers.
Mm-hmm. Number 16, Texas A&M is at number 8, Notre Dame, who's a 6.5 point favorite. 6:30 on NBC, Josh.
Damn. Okay. I was hoping to be able to look up the
You sound like that guy on Dodgeball.
That's right.
Damn.
Texas A&M hasn't beaten a power team in the non-con in like 10 years or something like that. Give me the Irish here.
Give me the Texas Fighting Aggies.
Whoa.
That's what they call them.
No, I'm surprised that you took...
I thought you were like distraught by something I said.
No.
Yeah, give me Texas A&M. Once again, I don't appreciate betting on both of these teams either, but I just really I like CJ Carr. Notre Dame hasn't been particularly impressive to me so far this year. Obviously, they had the game against Miami, and that's where when everyone has seen them. Very few people have seen Texas A&M play so far. So lose by a touchdown or win the game. Let's go with Elko and them boys. Wow. They're wearing like all white uniforms or something like that. This is a big Notre Dame Adidas. Yeah, I think this is a big, or maybe they're Under Armour still. It's a big like showcase game for Adidas. Texas A&M is Adidas. They're doing some stuff with their uniforms this week, so they're pretty excited about it. Give me A&M. And then finally, 11 a.m. FS1, Eric Collins and Spencer Tillman will have the call. Eric Collins, he of Charlotte Hornets yelling fame.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. He has the call as Houston Christian visits Nebraska. We are going to call Houston Christian a 42.5 point underdog in this game. Books usually have it out tomorrow morning for the FCS games. 42.5 is the number. Let's get hype before we make our picks.
Growing up, it's something we all have to do at one point or another. And with it comes the pain of growing up. That feeling in the pit of your stomach that comes from doing things you don't want to do. It's a part of life.
What?
A rite of passage.
What?
A milestone.
What?
A baptism by fire.
What?
Time for you to grin and bear it. 'Cause Houston Christian, let me tell you, you are not making a name for yourself at our expense.
Boom.
You're not App State, and we certainly aren't Michigan. For Nebraska, you gotta stay sharp, because all our goals are still in front of us. And for HCU, I'm sorry, but you gotta take this L. You gotta take this beat down. You'll be tougher for it, I promise you. You gotta take your lumps, go back to H-Town, and buy the pickleball team a bus or something. We don't know, we don't care. You took the check. This is what comes with it. You gotta go back to the Southland Conference and tell the others, don't schedule Nebraska. I don't know if you heard it or not. This ain't your big brother's Nebraska team. We do things differently nowadays. We kick ass, we take names, we send you back home to your mama. You see, these black shirts are gonna kill your will, and they'll kill it early. Your lungs will be burning by drive number 2. Hands on hips the entire second half. You'll regret you signed on the dotted line. Huskies, I'm sorry. It'll feel like you took a punch from the champ, Bud Crawford. And while we're on that issue, go ahead and knock Cinnamon out tomorrow. We love you, Bud. Part of growing up is taking an ass beating just to prove you can get back up. Houston Christian, I promise you'll get back up eventually. But these Skurs are gonna knock you on your ass. I implore you, to stay down. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. You
squeezy way.
decide. Nebraska 42, Houston Christian 7. That's 7 more than Akron. You can feel good about that. That's 71 grand a point. Not bad for a day's work. It's a grown man's game. And HCU, you're just the baby on the block.
HCU later. Josh says
that's what we got to
you
call it.
Screwed that one up.
I was right there.
HCU later. Even though you pick them to cover, it sounds like, Josh.
I didn't know the spread at the time.
Alyssa is in the chat.
Hi, Alyssa.
Is this a transatlantic accent? That would be 1940s man, right?
What is Will Compton?
I don't know. I mean, he's from Missouri. He played college football at Nebraska.
He has different teeth
He's
now.
different teeth now. Yeah. 42-7. All right. I said 38-3, I think. So let's just do that.
No faith.
Is that not enough? Is
I
that
don't
not
know.
enough points? So we're both taking Houston Christian to cover. Some hype speech, Josh. Didn't work. All right. Back with the polls, and we'll tell you what to watch after this on 1620 The Zone. But first, a word from our friends at Underdog Fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. Now is the absolute perfect time to get in on this Skrilla. Tonight, football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. You can play right now in the state of Nebraska. It is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. And you get your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You could play with as little as $1. I have an idea who someone's favorite player might be. Avery Johnson's dad's favorite player is probably Avery Johnson, right? They play tonight against Arizona. So you could take Avery Johnson higher or lower than a touchdown and a half passing. That's just an option for you. Who'd say, I'll go higher. Avery Johnson's dad would say. There's plenty of college football on the slate today and tomorrow. And then, of course, the NFL on Sunday and Monday. Get those picks in and do it now. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code HAPPER1620 and score $50 in bonus bets when you play your first $5. Promo code HAPPER1620. Millions of fans have already won billions. Making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. right, our apologies to John and Michael. We'll get them in here in just a moment. But business is business.
Business.
We had to do the hype speech, and we have to do the polls. Luckily, there aren't very many today.
That's right.
Is San Jose the St. Louis of the West Coast? I don't think so. I don't really get the comp still.
I'd like him to flesh it out a little more before I say no, but I think it's no.
54% say yes. Wow, amazing. Would you rip beers with Joan Cusack?
You bet your ass I would.
Sure. 78% say yes. Those are our poll questions today.
Good job, audience.
Hopefully you enjoyed the School of Rock show. What are we watching, Josh?
We're watching football this weekend. NFL on our TVs. These are games you're going to get locally if you like football and watch normal games like normal people. Bills Jets at noon on CBS. Bears Lions at noon on Fox. And then everyone is getting Eagles Chiefs.
Oh, you're going to
3
have to
p.m.
deal with the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Yeah. Sunday Night Football, Falcons, Vikings on NBC. College football tonight. Indiana State at Indiana should be a good one. 5:30 on BTN. Could you imagine a game starting at 5:30? Colorado, Houston, 6:30 on ESPN. Kansas State at Arizona. Surely this will be the bounce back part of the year for the Wildcats, and nothing will go wrong.
My son's best friend, Dylan Edwards, is playing tonight.
8 o'clock tonight on Big Fox. And then UCLA hosts New Mexico. Surely this will be the turning point of their season where everything begins to go right again. 9 o'clock on BTN. College game day at Georgia, Tennessee tomorrow. Candace Parker, your guest picker. Big noon at Northwestern for some reason. Baseball on our TVs. It's a Yankees Sox weekend, so you get it tonight on Apple. Sunday night baseball on ESPN. WNBA playoffs begin on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. 4 games on Sunday across the ESPN family of networks. No Caitlin Clark, of course.
Wow.
Her team is in it, though.
Oh.
Volleyball, the Husker Invitational tonight. Nebraska hosts Utah. 6 o'clock on FS1. Saturday, that's tomorrow at 6 o'clock, they play Grand Canyon on Nebraska Public Media. Blue Jay Invitational. Tonight, after that Nebraska volleyball game, it will be immediately followed by Creighton Volleyball at 8 o'clock on FS1 as they host Louisville with Connor Happer in the building. That's right. Creighton plays Rice at 4 o'clock on Saturday and Northern Iowa at 3:30 on Sunday. Both those games on ESPN+. Canelo Alvarez, 63-2-2, takes on Bud Crawford, 41-0 on Netflix, free for all tomorrow night. The television portion starts at 8 o'clock. What time are they going to fight? I don't know. 11?
It could be anything.
Yeah. New Larry the Cable Guy special on Prime Video.
Okay.
It's a Gift is what it's called. And finally, Sunday night, 7 o'clock on CBS, the 77th Annual Emmy Awards, hosted by Nate Bargatze.
He's everywhere.
He is everywhere.
All right. Josh, thanks.
Thank you, Connor.
That is what we're watching. That's the show. Appreciate you being with us today. If you miss anything, you can find it all. 1620thezone.com. The crossover is coming up next.